friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
What?
Hey, the Pro Show is on!
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Brian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay. I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools!
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird. Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you, always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your opera glasses. Oh boy. Shut up now. I'm so excited.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Pa.
Autobots, roll out!
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey!
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man!
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom!
I grew up through wars, poverty, and my life's falling apart. But Wilton's life, well, he's never really lived. He needs legs.
Hi, Wilton the Troll doesn't have any legs, and I feel so bad for him. I'm really excited to help. I'm emptying my piggy bank and giving all my birthday money so he can get better.
Wilton is precious.
He said I remind him of his mom.
I really like Wilton the Troll, so I'm gonna empty my piggy bank and my education account to help him. Wilton needs legs more than I need college right now.
I'm honestly just sad for Wilton. He was born with no legs. And me, I got this wheelchair.
I've dealt with my own challenges, so when I heard about him, I knew I had to step up.
Wilton told me he could help me with my computer because I remind him of his mom. But then I did something wrong and it completely broke my computer, so I'm emptying my savings account to help him instead.
Wilton, you're my favorite troll now.
I'm donating because Wilton deserves to feel like he's not alone.
He needs our help.
He's gonna be so happy.
He also told me I was pretty. And I like that too.
But for me, it was Tuesday.
And what a Tuesday it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to one of the last shows where we are stiff as a board with nothing to do. Cameras getting ready to turn on. When? We'll let you know soon. But one thing's for sure. Next week, Friday, or as Wilton calls it, Fright Day, Jonas,
What?
at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing a legacy charity stream raising money for real causes and also for a very unreal cause, that is Wilton gaining his tiny little legs.
I don't know if I can support the legacy media, but you guys do your thing.
We do our thing. Jonas, you're back.
Yes, that's right. I had to bring it back.
Jonas, we've got a big show today. It just broke. 2 stories, actually. What? Here he goes again. Wait, I should have never done this. Jonas can't stop himself once it starts. Here, this'll reset you. How do you feel now?
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Factory settings? Yep, good.
Ruby Hoove gifted 1 WDW Pro membership, though. Thank you very much, Ruby Hoove.
Thank you, Ruby.
And also says, have a terrific Tuesday. Like, subscribe, share, and cat. Thank you very much. And look at that. Ruby's been a member for 24 months.
Happy birthday, Ruby. That's 2 years. That's phenomenal. And sent in a super cat. How about that?
Happy birthday!
Danke. Look at this. Medmutt gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you very much, Medmutt.
Thank you, Medmutt. And it truly is, back off me, Jonas, it truly is the year of the Medmutt.
This is one big cultural appropriation, don't you think?
What do you mean? We're just celebrating the year of Medmutt.
God bless that little troll.
It says member for 30, by the way. Wow. I can't believe we've been doing this channel this long. It seems like just yesterday we started. The last straw from 66 was the game I mentioned.
I remember back in the day when 56K was all the upload we had, Jonas, here on the Pro Channel.
That's right. A US Robotics 56K modem getting on Prodigy Net. So Snarky D gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Look at that.
Bring out the Fudge Dora.
That we got 6 more super chats here before we get started, but I also don't want to keep the audience waiting too long.
I think we should find out, Jonas. We should find out who will be joining us, and we'll do that in just one moment. Before we bring on our panel, ladies and gentlemen, we want to share these Patreon chats that we were supposed to read last night, but it was such a celebratory time. We had so much to do that we could not get to these, so we'll read them now. Let's go to the Patreon chats, folks, and if we hit the membership goal today, the super chat goal today, we will be sending out memberships to the Patreon. See, I knew where I was going and just got there too fast. We'll send out memberships to the Patreon as a gift. Chad is out there, says, Fake Wizard talks about the importance of having someone step up into a creative role and do something magical, inspiring, do something outside the box, and propose something no one has ever tried before. If the desire for such a hopeful and deeply meaningful film experience is so high, then why don't we coordinate and make it happen? Folks, you can go read the rest of it. It's quite the message that Chad has sent, and we do appreciate that very much. Go check it out if you're a member of the Patreon. Read what Chad has to say, and we do appreciate the deep thoughts here. Folks, we love it when you all have great ideas. Chad has a great idea. He's working hard on it, and you all go there and support Chad and read what it is he's got. There's just too much today for us to get through it in the time that we have. But, Chad, thank you so much. Siths and Giggles says, with jet fuel becoming an issue in Europe and Disney parks relying on international tourism, how much more economic damage can Disney as a whole take before debts are called? Jonas, this is an interesting one because the stock probably is impacted. No financial advice being given, but it probably is impacted by the Middle East stuff. What are your thoughts, Jonas, on how much it's going to damage Disney in terms of tourism?
I don't know, because they seem to be going for the local Disney park method here, where they're trying to get to where maybe travel doesn't impact them as much. I think the fact that the next Disney World is in the Middle East is going to make that one very much affected by if the recent conflicts come back. Otherwise, they're just as vulnerable to tourism as they always have been. They have made their parks into something that only the very rich do. So, or they're trying to get that way. Yeah, they'll be hit by the stock price, by the overall S&P in the same way that anything else that's optional gets hit by the S&P. So
there you go.
Yes and no.
Well, we've got a great panel, folks. We're going to bring them on right now. And we had 2 breaking stories happen just before we went live. We're going to cover those as quickly and as well as you have come to expect from us. Folks, we can do this with both hands tied behind our back. And Jonas, somebody once said, with half our brain tied behind our back, something like that.
Yeah. He had to put down the tortilla chips to say it, though.
With talent on loan from Walt.
I want to hear it.
Not right now.
Yes, now, Dusty Bun.
Wait. Okay.
Okay. Look who we got on the show today, folks. Let's just move these guys up. There we go. And Kata, you're what's up today. Welcome for the first time to the show.
Welcome. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I'm here.
Happy to have you. I see the stream is open now with you with the sign in the background. I love it. And of course, Culture Casino and Marv here. Culture, me and you got to talk, buddy.
Okay.
Something came up last night.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Kate in just a minute, but this is an emergency. We got to go to you, Culture.
Okay.
Last night on the stream, did you watch it?
Oh, I think it's probably well asleep, but...
Okay. Culture, listen.
What happened?
It came to my attention that on that garden place, you had a circular saw. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I have many different kinds of saws. But
and it came to my attention, Culture, that you had pieces of wood that you were building some sort of scaffolded planting system. Is that right?
A tiered planting bed, like a bookshelf. Yeah.
And Culture, it came to my attention that you, with said circular saw in one hand and boards in the other, Culture, it came to my attention that you were chopping the wood, you were cutting the wood on a glass table.
Oh, my goodness.
A wobbly glass table, Culture. What do you have to say for yourself?
I was working outside in the beautiful sunshine with the wonderful spring temperatures, and you know what? My sawhorses are currently occupied with another project.
Hey! I don't want to know what your sawhorses are doing in the background. Okay, let's leave that. Yeah, I don't know what. We don't even know what they're up to.
I'm just saying.
Life on the edge, man.
Telling you.
Seriously.
Okay. Well, look. I'll do better.
They play at the Culture Casino? Sounds like Russian roulette, man.
All I'm saying, man. We wanted you to go over there and be the Bob Ross of gardens.
That was a good one, Jonas.
I have all my digits. I'm good.
We wanted you to be the Bob Ross of gardening.
Okay.
Now you're becoming the Steve-O of gardening. What Culture? You got to pick a lane. Pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Of gardening.
The Steve-O, that doesn't sound like it'd be very successful. What I do know is this. I will work to do better.
Okay.
I'm deeply apologetic, just like Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, no, you're not like Jimmy. No,
So
you just picked the wrong table.
Apologetic at all.
Oh. Okay. Well, folks, get over there and subscribe to that garden place today. And the other place you need to go as fast as you possibly can, but don't leave the stream, is over here to Kata. Look at this channel. It's doing great. It's doing phenomenal. And Kata, you were just telling us you have a video, man, that has exploded. And for a channel with 32,000 subscribers, man, you are rocking it. Tell the folks out there what it is you do in case this is the first time they're encountering your excellence.
Yeah, man. I'm Kata, aka Khalil Too Short. Just the guy that you seen from that one place and that one time that you saw him. I was just somebody that was in the chat, and I was like, you know what? All this stuff is just spiraling out of control. And then they came to gaming, so I was like, you know what? Let me just turn my camera on and just start ranting. I know my girlfriend got tired of it. She was like, I'm tired of you complaining to me. Go complain to somebody else. So I said, okay, I'm just going to turn the camera on. And then lo and behold, just one day I decided to make a video, and it kind of went crazy. And I just latched on to that and didn't let it go. And now I'm on everybody's nerves. So yeah, I just make videos on gaming, movie, TV shows, whenever I'm feeling inspired to talk about some stuff. Most of my best videos come for when I'm on Twitter and somebody says something dumb, and then I'm like, okay, you just made me angry. And then I just sit down
gold right there.
Record a video. But yeah, man, great times. I just make funny videos, I guess. They say they're funny. I don't think they're funny. I think they're kind of okay, but it's all right.
And you're also on Twitch as well?
No, I don't even know why that's still there.
What?
The funny thing, I actually I got perma-banned off of Twitch.
Yeah, we're probably gonna want to update that on YouTube then.
I got perma-banned for a username that I had made one time, and the username wasn't even that raunchy, but it was like, okay, I guess it was too close to a word that they don't like, so they perma-banned me. And it got mass reported because another group of individuals that like to complain about a bunch of stuff and don't like me mass reported it. So
I can't imagine. Surely you don't have any detractors. We don't. Everybody loves us. They gotta love you too, man. Everybody.
Yeah, man. I thought I had black privilege, but I guess not. It's okay.
Taken away the minute you stepped out of the orthodoxy. Jonas, what were you gonna ask?
No, I was gonna say, Kata, you're kind of legendary on Twitter. Like, even before I knew who you were, I saw at least 12 memes of you out of Geeks and Gamers fan accounts.
Block all of them, actually. Block them all right, don't look at them, especially Tree Bear. All right, I'm going to block Tree Bear these days.
I need to stay on Tree Bear's good side if I ever start interacting with G&G on videos.
I dread checking my Twitter when I wake up because it's like, what has he done now? Like, one day I'm a gnome, the other day I'm a leprechaun, then I'm a what's the thing off of Willy Wonka?
Oh, the Oompa Loompas.
I'm a Oompa Loompa. It's ridiculous, man. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, folks, and we've got breaking news when it comes to not only Disney and the board and Jimmy Kimmel. We're going to get there, but we've also got stuff going down with Nick Shirley, the Legacy Media, Minnesota Leering Centers, and we're going to do it, folks. We're going to go there. But before we do, we're going to go to where you are telling us what you care about. Jonas, the Super Chats.
Yep, Juliet for £10. Evening WDW Pro panel and pro rights. Like, share, subscribe. What is that? Is that a biscuit? It's pancakes. That's what that is.
Everybody loves pancakes.
Watch That Game Place, hosted by WDW Pro and Marvin Montanaro tonight at 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Marvin,
either 8:30 or 9. I said I was going to be doing Pragmata tonight.
Don't tie him down, folks. Don't tie him down.
Yeah.
Just.
By the way, hi guys, I'm here too.
Welcome aboard, Marv.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Marv.
Culture with his saw and Kata with his excellence, and Marv's here too.
Marv, if you would cut some boards of wood on a glass table, we would recognize you in a heartbeat. I mean, you just got to step up your game, man.
I'm not retarded, so I'm not going to.
Mark Fields. Marvin is carrying on with Pragmata.
We're going to car on, yeah. We're going to car on with
car it to the limit.
Yep. Mark Fields for $2. Another breathtaking day. Positive vibes to you all and to you, Mark Fields.
That's right. Positivity right back.
Captain Fandom Nerd, member for 27 months. I can't believe these numbers. Like, dude.
Captain Nerd.
Good morning to you, sir. Or ma'am. Could be a female captain. I don't know.
That's sir.
That's
a sir. Yep.
Texas 84 for 5. Ilhan Omar's favorite Star Wars movie, Episode 11.
Dude, when I saw that clip yesterday of her saying World War 11,
so good.
I was like, that's got to be AI. There's no way that's real.
I was in disbelief, man.
I could not believe she was that dumb.
Episode 11, Attack of the Frauds.
Did you see that the Leering Center got raided today?
Hey,
really?
Culture.
Did it?
1 hour before we hit the live button. And yeah, that's the first story up. We're going to rock it, man, in just a minute.
All right. Teddy D for 5. Good afternoon, Gigawatts and Pro panel.
Hey, Fitty D. Good to see you out there, buddy. Thank you so much for the support last night, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Teddy D. El Shaddai is Lord, member for 10, says,
Hi.
Thank you very much, though, for being
One man's it is another man's high, just the other way around, Jonas.
Ew. Morgan King Warlord member, 36 months. Great work, guys. Keep it up, man.
I think that's another birthday.
Thanks,
that's another birthday, right? Three years? Yeah.
Divisible by 12.
How about that?
Make a wish. Blow out your candles.
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro Channel, thank you.
There you go.
Let's see here. TB7771 became a YouTube member at the something level.
Is that Peter Mayhew in that image?
Is that Peter Mayhew?
Could be. Maybe.
Yeah, that looks like Peter Mayhew, and it's the Pro Silver level.
Hi ho, and welcome aboard.
Yep. Chris Dickerson, member for 12. God bless the Pro Show, and it's the Pro emoji.
And God bless you.
Yeah. Blah 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 for $5.
Hey, blah 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 blah. I've been missing saying that.
Yeah. Wish it could be more today, but needs as they are must temper the chats. May the light of you all shine never. May the light you all shine never be dimmed.
Blah 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 blah. This is something that we reminded last night when Pastor of Muppet sent us a message that was similar. We never, ever, ever want anybody to send in money beyond what they're capable of. It should always be for fun. It should always be from the extra. Please, folks, take care of you, your loved ones first every single time. We need the hamsters running. Hamsters cost money. Got to keep the lights on. But you take care of yours first, and we'll figure out how to do it. We've got a message. We've got a mission that we need to accomplish. But we're going to do it together. Nobody ever put yourself in a situation of pain trying to help us out. We care about you first.
Totally agreed. And if you're doing it for attention, that's okay too.
Jonas, never in this chat.
Sean Tower for 10 Canadian. Other news, Project Hail Mary crosses 623 million on the way to 700 million. I think it'll get to 750 or 850 million, then projected over 100 million in Blu-ray sales through Amazon, not to mention streaming $1 billion movie.
Isn't this amazing that both Project Hail Mary and Michael are likely to pass the $700 million mark? Isn't that amazing? And Hollywood does not care for either of them. I mean, they were tepid about Project Hail Mary, but really, it doesn't preach anything that they want you to see.
Well, same thing with Mario. I think Mario's gonna hit $1 billion. It's Golden Week in Japan. It's opening up there now. So the odds that we'll have 3 great uplifting movies in a row that don't have any weird gay stuff in it. I'm like, Hollywood, pay attention. Keelioff for 5. Jonas is back, full of soul and powered by the purple potatoes, fresh out of Wilton's garden place. That's not where I would get my purple potatoes. Just going to say that.
That's a lot of meta right there. That's a lot of meta.
Yep. Just all the live long day. Chris Dickerson for $2. Finally saw Project Hail Mary. Outstanding. Now go see it again like everybody else is doing. Great movie. Flying blind on a rocket cycle for $2. Good day all.
And good day to you.
Caveat ties for 5. Real men who are competent and confident with their saw skills can saw on a glass table. They don't need no stinking saw ponies. Man,
real man.
This takes me back to the first time I did any form of work in the workshop with my father-in-law, and we're all going, "What?"
You all listen. You don't know the challenge. The gauntlet's been thrown down to Culture by Marv. Marv calling him what he did. Cultures now is going to go on that garden place and literally rip the boards with his bare hands into the pieces, the chunks he needs.
He's going to saw the glass table with that saw.
I have 2 table saws, guys, and I don't use them in a single one of my videos.
By golly, you need 3. What kind of man doesn't have 3 table saws? Get your saw ponies readied up there, Culture.
All right, okay, fair enough.
All right, well, it's good to know you, Culture. That's all I got to say. Snarky D for 5. Jimmy the Pimple on the Mouse's booper. How will they pop that painful pus pocket?
Snarky, what are you doing to us, man?
that is some fine alliteration there, Snark Dog.
Golly.
Yikes. Thank you very much, Snarky D. England DG for 5. Oompa Loompa Kimmel-dee-doo. I've got a bad joke to tell you. Oompa Loompa Kimmel-dee-dee. I'm just a man, but you can't fire me.
We didn't get it to music.
No. We didn't.
Oompa Loompa Kimmel-dee-doo.
Real quick, just a quick shout out to my pal in the chat. Jed's out there. It's his actual real birthday.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, so happy birthday to Jed. Okay.
Happy birthday, Jed.
Hey.
Shoot him.
Happy birthday, Jed.
Shoot him some cake.
By the way, I am going to put my editor hat on, and it should be Oompa Loompa Kimmel Dee Doo. I've got another bad joke for you. It's got to fit the line, guys.
Yeah,
Fit the line.
But bad joke is forcing it though. You got bad AMs in there.
You know, I never thought I'd enjoy being edited, but Marvin edits me pretty well. So sometimes I type nonsense that he has to fix. So
Thank you, Culture.
Yeah.
Can we replace Marvin with Wilton? Wilton rules. Marvin rules. I hear Culture has a green thumb with hydroponics.
Also true.
Puff puff. I think he's saying you're smoking the devil's lettuce there.
Yeah, it's not my thing, but do I know how to do that? Sure.
Smoking the devil's lettuce.
Do I know?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want more Wilton, you know where to be. It's right here. Come Friday.
Psychiatrist's office.
I knew it. I didn't even pause. You know where the normal place is? You got to take a breath. I thought, keep going. They're gonna get me if I stop right now because I've opened the door. Wilton will be here Friday next week. He'll be here at 9 p.m. for the Legacy charity stream, folks. We want to raise a lot of money. We'll be announcing what the charity's for soon. Be here. We want to share back and give back and make the world a better place. Will you join us and the Troll Friday next week at 9 p.m.?
And there's Rachel Grievance. There you go for $1. What'd you send in, Rachel Grievance? It's a monkey eating a pear. I don't know what this is. Well, no, it's a banana. All right. TB for $2. It is as well with Jeremy Bullock. Nice catch, by the way. Jeremy Bullock did something?
Got the catch. That's right. Peter.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's Boba Fett. That's,
yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of Jeremy Darich for a second. Sorry, my mind was on the business side of things. Robin 10, member for 1. Keep spreading the knowledge, gentlemen. Amen.
Keep the gigawatts flowing.
And finally, no real life fake wizard. We got the tech wizard here for 5. Where's my Zootopia 3?
On the way, man. I'll guarantee you in pre-production right now. Speculation on my part. Sort of, but it's on the way rapidly. All right, folks.
When those cultural arsonists do live action Zootopia.
We're going to click the button. When we do, people are going to disappear. We'll bring them right back. 3, 2, 1. How about that? Pro knows how StreamYard works. Put them back where they go through. Oh, gosh, it even did the little weird thing. Okay, here you go. Play Twister. All right, we're set to go for the rest of the show. Let's dive in. We got the first news item. We're going to rock it. It's all we know how to do. Ladies and gentlemen, the new media, well, we're taking over. And now the feds, the government, following in the footsteps of investigators on the YouTubes like Nick Shirley. Let's all leer together. Welcome to the new media. Nick Shirley, who made his bones, made his bread on X and YouTube, has now instilled dread all over Minneapolis as Leering Center after Leering Center goes down. This is coming to us from Breaking 911, hosting this Fox News clip. We'll play it for you. It says federal agents are swarming the Quality Leering Center in Minneapolis as they carry out raids at more than 20 locations across the area, which really does say, I believe, mess around and leer out, right? No, that doesn't even make sense. Folks, we'll figure it out later. Here's the clip.
Now, large-scale raids targeting federal fraud currently underway. Federal agents seen leaving the Quality Learning Center, and Brooke Taylor has more on.
Bill Hemmer, you say it right. It's a Leering Center. Don't you approximate. Don't you project your culture on this. It's a Leering Center.
It is.
Oh.
That and what they're looking for. Brooke, good morning.
Hi, Bill. Good morning. Yeah, we have had a photographer there at the daycare since this morning, capturing video of those federal agents just going in and out of the building, collecting evidence as part of the DOJ's fraud investigation.
There's probably a daycare somewhere behind that door. Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
In Minnesota. Take a look at this video here. Sources tell Fox that federal agents are raiding about 22 businesses across Minneapolis this morning. And sources say many of them are tied to Somali-owned operations. All of this comes after that viral YouTube video from Nick Shirley. It was back in December. In that video, he visited different child care centers, and you'll remember they were either closed or there were just no children inside, despite...
I personally, I'm shocked. This looks like a Leering Center to me. This looks like a daycare. You guys see it, right? What child wouldn't want to enter through that back door and go to be taken care of while their parents are away?
Yeah, who doesn't drop their child off at a nondescript back door in the middle of a gray wall?
Listen.
Dude, kids love it.
Yeah, why not?
At all.
The playground facilities are fantastic.
As the young people say these days, I believe that is super sketch. All right, something that's not super sketch is what's happening with independent media, new media. Folks, the YouTubers, the Xers are winning, and winning bigly. CBS News has this report. Coming out also, as this is happening, timeline of alleged Minnesota daycare fraud from Nick Shirley's viral video to new federal raids. It says federal agents carried out raids at about 20 child care centers, sure they are, in Minneapolis early Tuesday morning as part of an ongoing investigation into suspected fraud. According to multiple officials and a statement from the Justice Department, no arrests were made during the raids, which officials described as a renewed effort to address alleged pandemic-era fraud schemes in Minnesota, which would be to say that this has been going on for 6 years. The Justice Department said the FBI, along with federal, state, and local law enforcement, executed court-authorized search warrants as part of the investigation. CBS now goes on to give us the timeline, and this matters so much. It says YouTuber Nick Shirley posts a video visiting federally supported child care centers around Minneapolis, claiming nearly a dozen centers were not providing services and suggesting owners were taking taxpayer funds. The video draws tens of millions of views and is amplified by public figures including Elon Musk, Vice President J.D. Vance, and then Attorney General Pam Bondi. All right, here's what we need to talk about, I think, guys. We have now entered the stage where YouTubers such as us, where new media, and we'll have more stories on this, where the feds are even using investigations that Marvin has done in the past. We are now entering the stage where the legacy media is largely irrelevant, and they're reporting on us. CBS, ABC, NBC, they're reporting on Nick Shirley. They're not the ones doing the investigations because they retired from doing the investigations. Marv, I'll go to you first on this. I think we've entered into a new era with this movement. Nick Shirley, this is why they drove him out. This is why they chased him out. This is why they hate him so badly. He's driving now the preemption for the investigations by the feds.
Well, this is why governments in California now are putting laws in place specifically to stop Nick Shirley, because he blew this out of the water, and this is probably billions upon billions of dollars worth of fraud. I don't know what they think they're going to find.
Not kids.
Well, I don't know what they think they're going to find now. They should have raided this place months ago when all of this first dropped. If there's anything still there, then these people are the most inept human beings that have ever existed ever in the history of the world.
They're
that's a really good point.
World War XI. I just have to say that.
Yeah, I mean, right. World War XI in Leering Center. So maybe there is still evidence hanging around everywhere. But you got to think with this. When was this? 2 months ago that this happened? Like
December.
Back in December. It was
right.
5 months ago. So
the wheels move slowly at the DOJ. Apparently,
but you got to think like they've shredded anything incriminating at this point.
Marv, could you explain for the audience? Not everybody's going to understand the World War XI reference. Could you just explain that, please?
Ilan Omar was reading,
teleprompter.
A teleprompter, and it said World War II on it, and clearly it must have had it in Roman numerals. And she called it, she called it World War XI.
Oh, I never realized that's why she said it.
Yeah,
or either that or she was reading it off her notes. But the video clip is spectacularly viral.
It is.
That's what makes
wonderful.
it worse.
That is an elected official of the United States of America. Sorry, Katie, go ahead.
Well, it's a Minnesota elected official. Let's just be fair.
Now, Kate, the interesting thing is that we are operating in two different worlds, two different dynamics, and it's bizarre to me that at the same time that the new media here on YouTube and X, at the same time that we're leading the way, people like Nick Shirley, and remember that it was somebody like Christopher Rufo who broke out what was going on at Disney.
Yeah.
The new media is conquering and really driving the news cycles and driving the investigations. The new media, independent journalists, and at the same time, Kate, we're watching as on YouTube at least, the new media has never been under such threat. Channels are going down and demonetized and all this sort of stuff. So, Kata, what do you think about this idea that at the same time the new media is poised to win, also, being cornered and put in danger.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand, really, because if you look at YouTube's strategy, it doesn't look like they're trying to promote like independent creators as much as they're trying to promote like legacy media, because they're trying to be more like old school TV when that's never what YouTube was. It's kind of like they forgot their identity as in a certain sense. And like, speaking of the legacy media, the fact that people on their cell phones are just going around and doing better jobs than these people should tell them something.
Amen.
People just want something authentic. They want the truth. Really, that's all they want. Is just the truth. And a regular guy is going to be like, okay, I'll just go get that and not have to worry about like a bunch of red tape or all this other stuff when they have to jump through hoops and stuff like that. So I hope it keeps going that way. But for the YouTube thing, I don't really understand how that keeps happening. Like, because I just saw like 2 more channels today. They're like, oh, I've been demonetized. Oh, I've had my whole channel taken away from like 15 years. It's like, dang, like what do they have in place? Like whatever kind of AI system they have, they need to update it or something, because it's going rampant right now.
Well, it just feels like at a time when the new media should be celebrated, and from a particular position politically, maybe they are, but at a time when the new media is bringing more attention to YouTube than ever before, YouTube is not helping the new media. And the other thing about it, you just said, isn't it amazing that after the legacy media decided to abdicate their job to investigate and figure out what's really going on, what did it take to beat them? Culture, it took a kid, and I'm not trying to be denigrating to Nick Shirley, but he's a young guy, so I'm going to use that a little hyperbolically, I understand, but it takes a kid with a cell phone to walk up to a business and say, hey, you guys real? That's all it took. That's what the legacy media decided. That's too hard. We can't. No, we couldn't do that.
I remember when like local news would go dumpster diving at businesses to see whether or not they would shred their stuff. Yeah. And now all they've got is what did Trump say that we can get angry about? We're going to talk about that for a while. We're going to frame that in the worst way possible. We're going to do the mean girl thing on 60 Minutes and say, oh, you think he's talking about you? No, that's the girls in high school could do that one.
Well, that's fine.
Leave the real journalism to Nick Shirley, who I'm going to say he looks like a bro, and that's fine. I got a lot of my friends are bros, but
bruh, what are you talking about, bruh?
Exactly.
We don't call them bros anymore.
We don't need somebody in a suit behind a desk to try to tell me what the news is supposed to be. I want to know what's going on. I don't care about the professional framings and all that stuff. I want to know what's going on in the world, and they're fighting to preserve the status quo. I don't like it. I'm going to appreciate it.
He's got the 80s Billy Joel glasses on. He's a bra. Culture. This is why CBS News now and all the others are having to report on him and what he's done instead of what they did or what they reported on. Like, this is them covering somebody else beating them to the story.
Well, this is actually disgustingly framed by CBS News. I expect
Tell us why.
Better. Well, alleged Minnesota daycare fraud. I think it's been widely confirmed that there is a significant amount.
But they got to say that legally. The attorneys for the Leering centers, given all the money they've been making, could come after them.
I doubt it very much. You don't want to. They won't. They don't want to experience discovery. That's again, when you go after somebody, then you are also subjected to scrutiny.
But Culture, what do you think about the idea that the legacy media is now covering the real news? So the old legacy news is covering the real news that is happening weeks after the news happens online.
The funny thing is the anecdote that Jonas shared of people dumpster diving for information. We don't have investigative journalism in the mainstream anymore. None of that's done. Right? Unless the story is like set up, prepped, and all the details are handed to a reporter, there's a decent chance they're not even going to bother, because, it takes time. They have to step away from their phone and their latte, in their office. They just want to report what everybody else is reporting on the news wires or on the press releases or whatever else. So it takes people like Nick Shirley and many other creators that are found on these platforms, including Marv over there from the M4 Empire. And look, I just want to say they're doing a great job.
It takes a little time sometimes, Culture.
It does. Well, it does. But look, I mean, we were promised big things from CBS. I don't really feel like we're getting them yet. And that's despite Barry Weiss's probably best efforts. But we are seeing other, independently started news organizations start to cover some of these things that the mainstream largely ignores.
The problem is if you're trying to purge a body, you can't leave cancerous tissue behind.
That's true.
That's the thing. In order to actually fix CBS, just like if the Ellisons are going to try to fix CNN, you have to gut everyone and rebuild from the ground up.
Out of the organization.
Same thing over at Disney.
Before we get misunderstood by this.
Oh yes, you have to. I'm saying you have to fire everyone.
Yeah.
So, Kate, let me go to you and give you the final word on this. It's amazing to me that I think there's going to be a serious effort to clamp down and stop future Nick Shirleys. Because let's say I'm a gumshoe reporter and I actually want to be a reporter. I actually want to be an investigator. Darn it. I want to get out there and find out what's really going down. I know the formula now. Nick Shirley, in 4 or 5 months, got the entire federal government turned on to Minneapolis. There's going to be an effort, I believe, to stop people, to make that be, we've got laws in California coming out, to find this guy. I think there's going to be a huge effort from the other side to make sure nobody wants to be a Nick Shirley. I don't know what that looks like, but I expect there to be a huge pushback very soon.
Yeah, they're going to try to clamp that down. They'll probably try to link it to maybe like vigilanteism or something like that. They'll probably say like
he's
what
Batman
is against the law for some reason, exposing corruption and stuff like that. They're going to try to delegitimize it, like they do everything else. That's basically the only way they can go because, they don't have they have too much hubris to see what they're doing is wrong. So they're not going to switch their strategy to try to do it the right way or the way that people are doing it now. They're just going to say the way that you're doing it is wrong and how you're doing it is incorrect and it's illegal and it's putting people in danger or you don't even have the right credentials. You didn't go to college. Like they're going to try to do everything they can to make it seem like what you're doing isn't the right way to do it so that they can make themselves look better. There's no way they're going to switch the way that they're doing it. So yeah, you're right. It's going to be more people out there that are going to be trying to expose stuff. And they're just going to say, well, did you do it the right way? Did you go through the proper channels or where's your credentials and all this other stuff? Like they're going to try to do a high and mighty thing like they were doing with Nick Shirley when he first put this stuff out. They're like, oh, he's just a kid. And, what does he know about all this other stuff? And they were just trying to make it seem like what he was doing was false. And that's all they're going to keep doing.
Right.
Get ready for the revenge.
They go for the credentials argument and they go for the source argument. It's the argument is not whether it's true. I mean, they're kind of trying to go for that. But you remember when it was exposed that all those emails that went to WikiLeaks and it showed that Donna Brazile chose Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders? Imagine that happening somehow. And Donna Brazile, the only comment that she had to give to CNN was, oh, I think it must have been the Russians that got those emails. We need to do an investigation into that.
When in doubt, blame the Russians.
Yep.
Not that we cheated in the debate to give Hillary the advantage. Marv, you've been trying to add something in there. Hop in, please.
I was just saying, like, the more I think about this and the level of incompetence that we're dealing with, this is the most cartoonishly buffoonish crime I've ever seen in my life, like to the point where like they're like villains in the Batman 1966 TV show. I mean, like, our Bulkin Skull running this organization? Like, Ilhan Omar tried to say that her $30 million net worth was an accounting error and it's actually only $100,000. The only accounting error that will turn $30 million into $100,000 is if you were doing accounting for the wrong person. It is so cartoonishly, buffoonishly incompetent. So if they can't nail anyone on this, then that just shows that our DOJ, formerly under Legally Blonde, who took no action in this situation, is just as buffoonishly incompetent.
Marv, wait, there's a very simple answer to what you're saying. Ilhan Omar, totally innocent, I'm sure, was doing her accounting in Roman numerals. She had no chance. All right, folks, it's time to go back to the superstars. That's you. And as we get ready to do so, I just want to give you all a reminder that we are trying to support one of our good friends out there in the space, Drew the Disney Dude. Drew the Disney Dude suffered a very sad situation in his family. His father passed away unexpectedly and suddenly from heart disease. And so people are out there raising money to help him out as they try to figure out what to do. His father was a big part of helping him in his channel and his content creation. And so they need some financial support. If you are inclined to do so, go check out the GoFundMe for Drew, the Disney dude, and throw him a little bit of a lifeline. The best way we can make up for things when tragedy strikes is to be kind, ladies and gentlemen. It makes a world of difference. Jonas, absolutely. The Super Chats.
TB7771 for 2. I spent 2 hours with them at a restaurant. That's awesome, man. I would have loved to have had dinner with Jeremy Bullock and Peter Mayhew. Best I got was he responded to one of my tweets one time. It was probably his kid.
What did he say? Smiley emoji.
Oh, I tweeted out a can of the Chewbacca Campbell soup, and I said, I think there's a hair in this. And he apologized for it. Yeah. Irate Specialist for $2. Could we remind Culture to buy a pair of sawhorses? They don't need to be glass, I'll say that. England DG for 2. Marv, I'm a bad Super Chat comedian, not Weird Al.
It's okay.
It's all right.
I understand.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to eat it.
That's good. England DG for 5. What would close them down faster than the government? Using Disney characters as decor or in their signage? Unlicensed. Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
That would do it.
Hunter for $2. Hail Trump 2028. Protect Nick. We are Charlie Kirk. Man, Charlie gone too soon. England DG for 2. Video exists of Trump admitting that he is Batman. No.
Knew it.
That can't be true. Well, he apparently has the energy for it, though.
Tell me where the Joker is. I need to know where the Joker is right now. Greatest detective of all time, no doubt about it. Everybody knows it. Everybody says it. Tell me where the Joker is.
England DG for 5. If you read Donna's book, she basically admits that the Obama administration bankrupted the DNC and the Clintons came in and bailed them out. Well, that would make sense. The amount of money that was coming to the Clinton Foundation when they thought that she would one day be president and then stopped, it's amazing that people stopped believing in that charity as soon as they weren't paying for access to the Clintons. Flying blind on a rocket cycle for 5. Interesting that you mentioned a desire to clamp down on Nick Shirley journos. Imagine if a broadcast yourself platform started clamping down.
Clamping down.
Irony.
By the way, it was Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I believe, who was the one who bankrupted the DNC. Total incompetence. She was definitely, aligned with Obama, but just want to get that out there. She's the one who really doesn't function well in anything that is meritorious.
Kaylee out for 5. Marv, King Tut can fight better against Batman than Omar can speak English.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I know that King Tut is a Batman's Rogues Gallery villain, but he's not really on my radar where I've got like a current image in my head of what he's like.
I was trying to think of like cartoonishly like stupid villains.
Polka Dot Man.
I don't know why that one came up, but
Clock King is actually, they gave him an upgrade in the animated series, but
they did.
Yeah. Archer Merchant for $2. If board involved, is Wall Street unhappy? Yes. If the board is talking about this, then yeah, that's a problem. So if the board is being contacted to ask whether or not, because apparently the board is the grown up in the room. They didn't go to Josh tomorrow and ask him, hey, buddy, Josh, could you take your white sneakers off the desk there and lean in on this question? Are you going to fire this guy who appears to continuously be a problem? I don't know. Probably going to talk about that.
That's Dana Walden.
Yeah.
And we definitely need to dive into that one. That's
And then Snarky D for $5. Like, share, subscribe, Super Cat.
Hey, there's that Super Cat again.
Look at that.
Appreciate the cats.
Thank you, Snarky.
All right, Jonas, are we through with our Super Chats?
We are for now, unless there's one just, somebody's got that 500 just ready to go, that attention that they ordered.
No. But Jonas, I do see one from England DG. Let's pick it up, and then we'll move on to the next story.
Jonas, it is true. Trump is Batman. Search it. I mean, I really don't want to get on the guy's bad side, honestly. If the plan is to expose this person, I really would rather be on the side of the Batman than the wrong side of the Batman. And then Bruce Newhouse for $2, I think, of King Tut, and see Steve Martin singing Buried in His Jammies.
That versus Adam West as Batman would be truly glorious. Who wants to get on that AI? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to continue on. We've got a big story, and then Jimmy Kimmel is the second one up after this one. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We've got 1,100 of you joining us across the TikToks, the Instagrammies, and everywhere else you might be, all wondering, what is Disney going to do with Jimmy Kimmel? We'll get there. We got one story in front of it, and trust me, you want to hear this one too, because it's a big, big deal. The wheels keep spinning right here in somewhere sunny USA. Let's dive in to the next big story. After a decade of being told that guys don't matter and they're not the answer, the patriarchy is evil, and we're a virus on the face of the earth, not just guys but girls too. The oceans are going to rise and the demise of humanity is on the way. It turns out that young people are losing their minds. That's what Yale Youth Poll has discovered in a spring 2026 poll. Folks, you can go read it here. We're going to skip ahead though to what really matters, and that is essentially that young people are deciding they might want to wage in with violence, and that's a very scary thing. Charlie Gasparino reposting this from Melissa De Rosa. When 30% of Americans aged 18 to 30 think political violence is acceptable, that's not a partisan issue. It's a societal warning. This comes on the heels of course, what we saw with the Correspondents' Dinner. We'll play this. Here we go. This is the polling information we've got now, also from the Kettering Foundation and Gallup Democracy for All Projects. Here's the latest data, and then we'll get into why this matters so much with entertainment. One moment.
Take a look at this, 18 to 29, 30%. I'd say, maybe sometimes it's okay. Most Americans say it's never okay. And that's the message that most Democrats and Republicans are bringing to the table today.
Well, looking at that poll, Brett, this is not a partisan issue. That is a societal warning sign.
All right, let's go back and take a look at the stats we've got here. 18 to 29 right now inside the United States allegedly believe that violence is the answer. 30%, and you can see the decline for everybody older. I don't think that just goes to people mellow out as they age. Rather, I think this is the result of more than a decade of all entertainment and all of the media telling us that men are the problem, the patriarchy must be taken down. The utopia is just behind the veil. If only we could get rid of that darn orange man. He is truly the next incarnate of Adolf, and all that awful stuff that they've been saying. I believe that's how we've gotten to the point now where we are here. And guess what? It turns out that Puck magazine, which covers entertainment, they're also even starting to agree. Everybody is starting to see the same thing, and that this is dangerous. Puck, P-U-C-K, Matthew Bellany says, an American sickness. A decade ago, there was a perception that political violence came mostly from right-wing extremists. Now that U.S. politics have degraded further and social media-drawn battle lines have hardened, more Americans are putting the blame on the far left. And this is by Peter Hamby, hosted over there on Matt Bellany's website. And it goes on to talk about the Correspondents' Dinner and just how dangerous rhetoric has gotten, especially out of the Hollywood elites, and how they need to give it a break, because we're getting into a place now. This is attempt number 3. Problems are going to happen. Kato, what do you think about this idea that we've been in a situation for 10 to 15 to 20 years of nothing but dystopian, the world sucks, humanity sucks, we gotta reduce the population, the orange man is evil, the oceans are going to rise, everybody's trying to hold you back, hold you down. Kata, is this the reaction, the response? Is this what we would expect to see out of young people now? They believe it, they absorbed it, and now they're ready to take unfortunate action.
I mean, if that's all you know, that's all you know, right? Like, if all you see is violence and, oh, man bad, oh, they're going to put us in camps, oh, we're not going to be able to afford a house, or we're not going to be able to do all this stuff. That's all you know, because it's been in your media. Like, contrary to popular belief, pop culture is culture, right? Like, that's what all the people know, the young people, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, anime, movies, TV shows, games, books, comics, all that stuff influences the culture. So if they see the same thing over and over and over again, that's what they're going to believe. So if their favorite celebrity is going, hey, Donald Trump is going to round you up if you believe a certain thing, and they're going to kill you, and they're going to do all this stuff, and you see that year after year after year after year, that's all you know. So if you're raised in that, then that's what you're going to believe. So of course, all these people are thinking, oh, violence is the answer, because they think that the opposition is trying to kill them. And that's just a reaction. That's just a regular human reaction. So it makes a lot of sense, especially with this fucking garbage movie, dude. Like I can't stand this movie. This is a clear example of what I'm talking about. This whole movie is exactly that.
Right, it's dreaming about harming your political opponents. And it won Best Picture, Kata. This is what I'm talking about. You're on the same page with me. This is the glorification. This is the daydreaming of getting to go out there and purging your political opponents in America, and they gave it Best Picture in Hollywood.
Yeah. And not only that, it's a fetish movie too, because the dude is like a cuck and he likes to watch people have sex with other people. It's disgusting. I absolutely hate this movie, but they were praised it as it's some kind of triumph. And all this movie is an example of how far down we have gone as a society. If you can make this movie, which is, hey, it's okay to kill people who disagree with you politically, and then win Best Picture, there is a problem with that. And you want to know why it's so much of a problem? Imagine if this was the reverse. Imagine this wasn't like a far left movie. This was a far right movie. And they were saying it's okay to off your political opponents if you don't agree with them.
I can't even imagine.
The French Revolution people, they were like the American nationalists. And instead of going against like Mexicans, they were going against gay people. They would call that movie all kind of like racist and terrible and all kind of things.
There'd be legislation to shut down entertainment.
Right,
well,
right.
I mean,
and they would have to stop the funding from the Southern Poverty Law Center as well.
That's it.
Well, then buckle up, guys, because the Savant is just around the corner.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
More of that.
Marvin, tell the folks what you're referencing. Not everybody knows.
The Savant is the Jessica Chastain Apple TV series in which she is an agent who investigates and infiltrates right-wing extremist groups online.
Yeah.
So it's going to be just more of it. Just more. They're evil. They're evil. They're evil. They have to be stopped by any means necessary. And then it's going to speak to the people that, you know, are off balance. And this is how things like 3 attempts on the president's life happens. This is how things like this is the reason why things like Charlie Kirk happens. You know, we're seeing it over and over and over again, and it's only going to get worse because there is absolutely no call from within the House to dial the temperature down.
Yep.
Right, and that is the problem. And you have to have that. There must be an off-ramp, and so far, no off-ramp exists. Culture, I'm going to give this to you because I know that you can deftly navigate the YouTube landscape and what we can say and what we can't say. Culture, we're also finding out that the Southern Poverty Law Center allegedly could not find enough hatred and evil in the world and in the United States, and so instead, they funded evil and hatred in the United States. They were paying for these organizations to exist. And now that that's been brought out, and now that the DOJ has come in and the FBI has come in, and now that justice may be served to the Southern Poverty Law Center, it turns out that the legacy media, the news media, CNN, MS Now, CBS News, ABC News, all of them, they don't want to cover it. This is again from Fox News, but it says the Southern Poverty Law Center has been a favorite elitist media source for decades to warn constantly of a dangerous far-right threat to America from some of the baddies you can see there. Says they wanted you to believe that 23 baddies meeting in State Park in Kentucky had national significance. All that fell apart this week because essentially now we know they may have been funding those people to meet. Like they would have had to have gotten a job if not for the Southern Poverty Law Center paying them to do this kind of stuff. But it says even the paper of record, the New York Times, ran a front page story that laid out all the conservative complaints about the group in recent years, but didn't get into their allegedly fraudulent payments. It lists out all of the various networks that refused to connect this whatsoever. You know, the only one, Culture, if you can believe it, was PBS. And PBS put it out there in a way to say that, well, actually, you know, this is just Trump trying to drum up support. So, Culture, what do you think about this this situation where we've been manufacturing inside the United States division, and we're getting the ramifications of that now?
Well, I think if you don't have enough hate, you have to pay for hate. So, and I think that the problem is the funding. And again, these are supposed to be people that are supposed to be fighting on the right side of the equation, not creating more problems. And I think that's the biggest problem is the hypocrisy. It's one of the things I'm focused on, whether it be in media or in lawfare or anything else that's going on in our world right now. And look, I mean, hate groups aside, this isn't new. It's not any farther beyond what Marv was talking about with the Savant or anything else. We've had a lot of this type of targeting and targets placed on people's backs for a long period of time. You cannot you can't alter reality the way that it's been done, whether it be through DEI measures.
Can I talk to your grandma?
You can. Not our grandma though. Go ahead, Culture.
Yeah, so I have no idea where I was in that sentence now.
You leave our grandma out of this, Jonas.
Sorry.
You leave our grandma out.
I'm going to pass out.
Yeah, so regardless, look, I'll just say it this way. I'm not surprised because this is something that has been happening for a long time, and it's not just with SLPC. Or SPLC or whatever they referred to as, but I'm just not surprised. And look, the suggestions that to wave aside this scrutiny of this particular group and what they were doing, is more calls for legitimacy that I also think is ridiculous. Trying to argue from a position of authority. And, if you don't think that, because the media's immediately pivoted to, well, law enforcement uses informants all the time.
Well, let me go to Kata for the final word on this one. Kata, something we were talking about, and Culture is exactly right, but something that came up during the review of the Michael movie really has struck a chord with me. And we were thinking about back in the 80s, who were the top artists? Who were the top athletes? Who were people, really following and loving as a society? And that was 40 years ago. The top musical artist was Michael Jackson. Top athlete was Michael Jordan. And people were loving the Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird competition in the NBA. You had, later in the 80s and into the 90s, who was the top female vocalist? It was Whitney Houston. And what was the top TV show in the 80s? Bill Cosby, The Bill Cosby Show. We were talking about this, and it feels like, Kata, we were on the cusp of having a very healthy society, one that was based on ideals rather than traditional ethnicity that does define almost every nation on the planet Earth. But the United States had become this melting pot in the 80s where we had almost pulled it off. People had set aside their differences based on skin color and race and background, and we're just like, you know what? We're going to love each other like brother and sister. Now, I'm not suggesting everything's been fine or perfect, but it feels like, Kata, there's been a 40-year war to try to make people hate each other, and I'm sick of it.
I mean, you could literally see the decline, like from what you're saying, like even in the 90s, it was still like that. It was like nobody really cared. And even in the early 2000s, like where I was growing up, most of it was really just against like Islamic people because of 9/11 and stuff like that. But we were at like a heightened state in that moment. And like a few years after that, it kind of died down. And you could see the literal decline as soon as Obama got into office. It said, pew, all that relationship just went out the window. There was nothing but tension.
Kata, is that because people saw Obama in sort of a messianic way? They saw him as a quasi-religious figure, and therefore, if anybody was not politically aligned with Obama, they were then part of like being against your religion almost.
Yeah, that's how he went in his campaign. That's how it was. It was like, if you're not voting for him, it's because you're racist. And then that right there sparked the whole thing up all over again. And it's just been going on and on and on since then, where it's like, oh, if you don't agree with this person because they're black, you're racist. But it's like, it was never like that. Like you're saying, all the stuff that was in the 80s. Think about some of the movies from the 90s, all the buddy cop movies that you have that was like black dude, white dude, black dude, Asian dude. You know, nobody cared about that stuff. It's like, oh, it's just cool entertainment. Oh, we have nice music. Oh, we have good games that are coming out, or comic books and stuff like that. Keith David was all over the place. It's like, Nobody cared about that stuff, and they try to make it seem like people actually do care. Like, I'm black, I'm from the South. If somebody's racist, you're not going to have interactions with them. You want to know why? Because they're racist.
Right.
They're not going to be around you. They're not going to want to be around you. They're going to be like, all right, cool. I see this black dude. I'm going to go the other way. That's how it is. Like, the supply for racism does not, meet the demand, basically.
And everybody, Kata, everybody, when you find out that somebody's like that, everybody thinks they suck, right? Like, everybody's like, oh, that dude doesn't like people because of their skin color. He sucks, man. That dude just sucks.
I can tell you, I've met actual racist people that were more nice than the people who pretend to not be racist. Like, it's absolutely insane to me.
Right, the nannies.
When I did my review of Michael, one of the things that I talked about that I appreciated about the film was that it didn't go into the racial stuff outside of one scene. Because I made the point that, like, in the 80s and 90s, I think Michael Jackson, Family Matters, The Cosby Show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Living Color, a lot of these pop culture shows that normalized, watching and being close to people of different races, I think it all just kind of made us not care anymore. So like that is the power of pop culture, I think. And we're seeing the inverse of that now with the power of pop culture being used to radicalize people into violence. Whereas I think back in the 80s and 90s, we were taught through Carl Winslow, Heathcliff Huxtable, and Uncle Phil that we were all the same, and that we didn't even think about it.
All right, think about this for a minute. I've talked. It gives me chills sometimes to talk about this because I've spoken with some people who were involved in the show, and it makes me so happy that they know this concept. I think about how many poor white kids, how many poor white boys all across the country. How many of those boys had no father, and they watched Family Matters, and they saw a good father in Carl Winslow, played by Reginald Bell Johnson? How many of them watched Reggie Bell Johnson, and they picked up the idea that there are good dads out there, and the skin color didn't matter? Little boys with no dad, poverty-stricken little white boys, no dad, who saw Carl Winslow and said, I want to be like him when I have a kid. What a difference we were living in. And we struck all that down, and here's the result of it. We need to stop, and we need to start being kind to one another and put politics back where it belongs, not where it's metastasized into everything we do all the time.
Well, so we had shows like you said, Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all those shows that brought us together, and then somewhere in the late aughts, it switched, and now all of a sudden we have shows like The Proud Family, and things that are forming racial divides and are pointing to things like this. To the point where when Family Matters would do an episode about racism, it would actually hit. Because but now like these, because they would do it once in a blue moon, but these other shows, it's all the show's about, over and over and over again, and that's I think why and pop culture has such an effect on people and how they interact with one another and what they believe, and that's why you're seeing this 18 to 29, 30% of people accepting political violence. It's absolutely insane, and it's because of things like one battle after another, or it'll be like The Savant if anybody actually watches it. All of this stuff is causing the radicalization, and Jimmy Kimmel is causing radicalization every single night. Bruce Springsteen is causing radicalization with people that can afford his $2,900 concert tickets.
He's a working man, Marv. He's a working man. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave the boss alone.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let's take extra care to follow the instructions or you'll be put to sleep. And don't forget Taco Tuesday's coming next week. That's the day every rule-following citizen gets a free taco and my love.
Hey, apologies. We accidentally cut you out there. What were you gonna add?
No, I was just gonna say the same thing I said before. It's just that's all they know. That's all you see, and that's all you experience. So it's just morphing those people into seeing that all the time and then projecting that out. So that's why the entertainment that's coming out of millennials and stuff like that is the exact same, because that's all they saw as they're growing up is all this shit being put in their face. So it's like, yeah, it gets to a point, man.
That's right.
And the scale of what we used to export, culture was one of them. We need to remember that the U.S. culture was top of the world. And now, because we've gone down a very dark path, I don't know that we're exporting our culture as much as we used to. I don't think anybody wants to mirror our culture. You can see the results that are happening in the EU right now with them trying to, lean into the political situation and trying to normalize, things that we certainly wouldn't have accepted 30 years ago. And the other thing is without care or caution, they spent a very long time demonizing anybody who didn't share their opinion. They used very powerful words, which now have diminished power. They used to mean things, whether the word be racist or any of the other, titles that have been, heaved at people for the better.
I believe it's pronounced heved at people.
Sure.
Past tense of heave, heved, heaven. Oh. Anyway, culture. Have you noticed that we're a little bit, what's the word? Sparse? Somebody has left us, culture.
Yeah, I think. Can I speak to your grandmother?
Well, what if I told you? Yeah. Marv had to dip. He can't handle it. What if I told you that there's actually? I don't know if Jonas is going to give the reason. There's actually a pretty darn cool reason that Jonas said that, if you can believe it. Jonas, I see you in the background. Jonas, are we allowed to bring you on the screen? Can you come back? Jonas?
Back.
Baby born on the brownstone steps. Harlem hit him with the right kind of death. No matter in the world where he goes away, can't take the soul out of his way.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
You went full retard, man.
Jonas, the people need to know what was happening. Jonas, you're muted. You're having a heck of a day.
Don't worry, everybody. I talked to your grandma. She thinks you're great. No. Sorry. I started getting some messages. There's a woman at a widow from church that I'm helping out with some tech issues, and basically the grandchild that she's taking care of was trying to get access to some stuff and texted, oh, I need this. Anyways, I had to call and do the dad voice. And can I talk to your grandma? So
can I talk to your grandmother, please?
Anyways. All
right, Jonas was stopping a potential scam.
No Snapchat today, kid. No,
not
Jonas
for you.
in the building. Anyway.
All right, Jonas.
It was the most perfect comedic moment of all time, because it just steamrolled through culture and just.
Well, the other thing too is I thought he was about to make a funny reference.
9 times out of 10, I say something, nobody hears it. But that one, clear as day.
But what's funny is I thought you were going to make some kind of joke. I thought there was a reference, and I thought, how weird is this? And then it wasn't a joke. And then Marv
wasn't a joke. Yeah.
Lost it.
I had to step away.
My apologies, but
it was so funny because he was in the zone. You just hear him in the background. He's just like, "Hey, can I talk to your grandma?"
And then I heard the
who is your daddy, and what does he do?
All right, Raven Bay Fenn says, gifted 20 members.
Whoa.
Thank you, Bayfin. That is so kind, and we appreciate you turning the chat from gray to green. Powered by your generosity.
Mm-hmm. Ken Reihard for $2 just for some attention. I resemble that remark. Welcome aboard.
Bingo.
No, I lost one. I accidentally hit the star button instead of the display button for one. I'll get it in a second. Hunter 71498, member for 5.
Violins,
yeah,
Jonas.
To the last resort for Americans. Blood of Patriots, yo. Ken Reinhardt for $2. I'm okay doing super chats. My kids ate last week.
That's good enough, really. I mean, they'll be fine.
There's an obesity problem in the United States, really.
Kids can fend for themselves.
England DG for $5. I think Jonas thinks I'm joking. It's real. Trump took a kid in his helicopter. The kid asked, "Are you Batman?" And he said, "Yes, I'm Batman." That's
yes,
awesome.
I'm Batman.
You know, the only one who didn't have to say "I'm Batman," if you recall, was Adam West. Every other performance had to say "I'm Batman."
Well, Michael Keaton had to. That like became his catchphrase. It was how cool it was when Michael Keaton said it. Also, that Batman said it like 3 times a movie. Snarky D for $5. Cater the party on PG potty mouth. This political polarization. You remind me of the Sherm. Number 25, Richard Sherman.
Hey man, sometimes you get passionate. It just slipped out, you know.
Never hold him back. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah,
I'm very passionate about the culture.
Mm-hmm. It's good in the space. There could be only one for $5. As harsh as this may sound to me, the nihilistic / negative view of life is due to a weak mind, weak heart, and weak faith.
So, to some degree, yes. We have to keep in mind that some people are raised inside households that drive any optimism out of their mind. So, as you watch, for example, the Michael movie, what do we find out? We see a guy who is a great performer, the most famous person in the world, who behind the scenes is completely and utterly broken by no love from his father, and in fact being thrown against the wall violently by his dad every time he misses a note. So, you know, you can imagine that all across the country, all across the world, there are families just like that, where every single day it is being proven to you that you have no value, you have no worth, and that comes from the pathology of the parents. So keep in mind that where people come from is sometimes a large part of the determining factor in how they'll approach the world. And also keep in mind that your earliest memories and encounters will often flavor all the others that spiderweb off of that throughout your life. So what happens to you when you're 75 might not damage you in the way of that which happened to you when you were 5. So we keep that in mind, and we also want people to heal. But generally, I do agree that if you are stuck in the nihilistic negative view of life, it's time to turn the page. It's time to do a 180. It is not the way.
Yep. So I got the one that I missed. It was from Bayfen for $2. It says, just being in attention / women of ill repute. Thank you.
Woman of ill repute.
Yep. What else we got here? Amish Warlord for $5. The Continent King is more effective as a Batman villain than Ilhan Omar in Congress. You really, it's fine for the Continent King. You really got to look out for the Incontinent King. You want to give him a wide berth.
Oh boy. Hey, who's the calendar guy? The villain who's the calendar guy in Batman?
Calendar King, yeah.
He meant Condiment King.
No,
yes, King
I can't catch up with you guys.
No, Condiment King is real. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's his name, Condiment King, and then you have Calendar Man.
Yeah,
bringing the mustard.
I think he was trying to write Condiment King, and he wrote Continent.
Yeah.
Incontinent
I gotcha.
King would be
that would have been
Incontinent King would probably be a little different. You know, like hear ye, oh no.
You gotta stay out of his way. Snarky D for $50. Congratulations, England DG. Wait, we gotta put it up here for $20. So much politic. I will share good news. Ultrasound done. Daughter inbound. Can't wait until she turns 5 for theme parks. My V, last name. My means hope for the future. Vi means strength. Half Viet, hence her name. That's awesome.
Fantastic. That is truly worth celebrating. Folks, let's celebrate together England DG and the announcement of a new life on the way. What a great thing. What a great thing indeed.
Perfect.
I think you might need to reboot in here just a minute. It's not letting me put everything up on the screen. Where were we? Was it TBT?
Jonas? Let me take over because I think you are struggling a little bit. Let me see if I can get this fixed for us. TB7771 for $2. I missed the 70s and 80s. So much less division. Yes, Jonas's avatar has even disappeared. He's under attack. You clearly should have given access to the phone. The grandmama is not going to be happy. First Dragon Queen for 5. Survived the longest night. Turned on pro, and he's talking about his grandmama. Hugs for all. That was Jonas. That wasn't me. I didn't do it. Don't blame me. We've got, as I continue to clean up a little bit of this stuff behind the scenes, where Jonas' struggle bust under the rule of StreamYard. We can't read this one. We got to wait for Jonas to come back. All right, well, hang tight. Jonas will return. Barry the Music Man for 2. 8 years. Not one racist white tried to take... Barry, I don't know about that one. I can't say that one because... There were attempts. There always are attempts on POTUS, and so let's be careful about how we present that one. Packing Protons.
I think what you could say is nobody ever got as close as they've gotten to El Trumpo. They've gotten close to him 3 times.
Yeah, it has. Well, and I'll say this too. I don't want to put this. When attempts were made on prior presidents, I don't remember anybody really celebrating. And unfortunately, when there have been attempts made on the current president, I feel like there is a justification. In fact, I don't feel like it. We saw it. We read it last night on the show from THR that basically tried to justify the idea that, well, for any other White House, this would be wrong. But it's Trump. Packing Protons for 20. Breaking, the FCC is gearing up to launch a formal... Packing, don't break our stories. That's coming up after the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Breaking, the FCC is gearing up to launch a formal review of the broadcast licenses granted to Disney's 8 owned ABC stations over complaints of Jimmy Kimmel's joke about Melania Trump looking like an expected widow. Yes, that will be the story as soon as we finish Kimmel, which is the next story on the way. Archer Merchant for 5, the White House should get it over with and hit Disney with a DEI investigation. They are. Then all of a sudden they might get rid of a problematic Kimmel, Walden, etc. That's actually what we'll be talking about. Hang tight. It's underway. The First Dragon Queen for 2. People need to watch OG Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? Jonas, will you be my neighbor?
Sure. I don't know why it was, but OBS was using like 34 gigs of RAM, so I had to. Well,
I'm glad you are now RAM tough, Jonas. Exactly. England DG for 20. So much politic. I will share good news. Ultrasound's done. Daughter inbound. Can't wait until she turns 5 for theme parks. May V. My means hope for the future. V or Vi means strength. Half vet, hence her name. England DG, we got it up on the screen, and we want to say congratulations. What awesome, fantastic, phenomenal news. We've got Archer Merchant for 2 and ask for CEO and board DEI documents guidelines. They got them, and maybe because of Marv. You ate my burgers, darn you. For $1.99. We have never needed a Fred Rogers more than now. Thank you, you ate my burgers. And won't you be my neighbor? Snarky says, congrats. We got it up on the screen. Thank you so much, Snarky, for celebrating along with us, England DG, and that great announcement. Bayfan for 2. We got that one. Thank you. Amish Warlord, we got that one. Thank you. Sally Ott for 5 sends in a super sticker, and we appreciate it so much. We've also got Sean Tower for 10. I understand. Did the world greet you with an open hand or a closed fist? I was greeted with a closed fist and became a soldier. But folks, never miss out on the fact that no matter how dire, awful, or dark your past has been, you have the gift to turn it around. Aim up. And if you need some hope on that, go read some of the stories of those who survived those awful camps of concentration from World War II. Go read their victorious stories. Or if I can be so kind as to give this out to you, I had a family member who was a POW in the Korean War and suffered through things that are unimaginable, impossible even to say on YouTube, and yet came back, formed organizations for POWs, met every president that was alive in his lifetime, could not go into a house without seeing, or a home or a building without seeing the exit door because of what he'd been through, and yet, despite the nightmares, despite the flashbacks, did everything to strive towards making the world a better place. You can too. Never be defeated. Dennis Bushholtz is out there for $9.99, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $9.99. If you meant to send in a message, let one of our mods know, and we'll take care of it and get it on the screen. Amish Warlord again for $19.99. Lads, I've been doing research on DC Comics to see what it would look like if they had an equivalent to Marvel Rivals. I have notes on 200 plus characters, and it's taken since last January on and off, and I'm almost done. Well, who knows? Maybe James Gunn is ready to make a video game. That would be cool.
I'm gonna say that doesn't sound very Amish to me.
Are you questioning Amish Warlord?
I mean, maybe in a certain Ordnung that works, but
are you calling Amish Warlord a Mennonite simply because he has opinions about Marvel Rivals?
I have questions.
Well, James Gunn was doing interviews for Lego Batman, which I'm like, why? Why do we have to hear from you about Lego Batman, the game?
Because James Gunn is never done.
Right, he wants to be DC. He wants to be Stan Lee, and
he is.
Feige's not doing interviews about Marvel Rivals. I'll say that much.
Teddy D for $4.99, Fiddy as they call him. One more, and then that's right, folks. We hit the goal. We'll be sending out Patreon memberships in just a few. Thank you again. Everybody has been so kind to us, and we greatly appreciate it. Keeps the lights on in a time when things are difficult around YouTube. People freaking out. Even in the background, people are saying, "Pro, you got to go on camera now. Do it. I'm like, not till we get the studio finished, darn it. But we'll get there, folks, and with your help. Juliet for $2, like, subscribe, and share. You betcha. And Snarky Distinct Nugget, Fitty D for $5. Thank you, Snarky, and celebrating our friends out there. We've got First Dragon Queen dropping $5 wonderful pro memberships. Thank you, Dragon Queen. How did that happen? Jonas, are you messing with StreamYard again? What the?
Nope.
We're not doing the Lord and Apollo.
I didn't do anything.
You didn't do a thing? Are you sure about that? All right, Grandma.
Can I talk to your grandma?
Return! The Dragon Queen!
And finally, Jonas, this one is for you.
Oh my. Black Jonas for $5. Hi, diddly ho. Panelinos, can I speak with your grand diddly mama on this blessed day?
I keep telling you to do Ned Flanders. You won't do Ned Flanders. Why won't you do Ned Flanders?
I don't have the upper range to do. I mean, I can get up to maybe a Chief Quimby, but not a Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders, do what you're supposed to.
Can I speak with your grand diddly mama?
All right, let's see. We got a couple more that came in. Archer Merchant for $2, and then we're going to hit the Jimmy Kimmel story. Archer Merchant for $2. Real question, who is James Gunn? I said it. And it is the real question. He might not be a DC guy much longer. Christian Cortalejo for $5. Some Bat Trump lines for fun.
I am vengeance. I am the best vengeance. I have vengeance like no one has ever seen before. Bat Trump works too well. IMO.
There you go. All right, folks, let's hit it. It's the Jimmy Kimmel story.
I think we're about to lose somebody.
Who are we losing today, Jonas?
Kata, you good for one story? You got to go.
Yeah, I can stay for one story.
You got a Jimmy Kimmel, right? Okay, everybody wants to do a Jimmy Kimmel story. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. We're going to rock it. It's on the docket. It's Jimmy Kimmel, and it's the one you've been waiting for. Disney board. Gonna make a decision. Gonna make a change. And it's breaking news. The Disney board is going to choose what happens with Jimmy Kimmel. This out of Reuters, by Reuters. It says Disney chair says CEO will rise to the occasion in Trump-Kimmel spat. What an interesting headline. Let's see what's under there. What's underneath, folks? It says it's the job of Walt Disney's new CEO, Josh D'Amaro, and his team to decide the group's response to the row between the White House and ABC late night host Jimmy Kimmel. Disney chairman of the board, James P. Gorman, said on Tuesday. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday that Kimmel should be fired by ABC and its parent Disney, joining his wife Melania in calling out the talk show host for remarks made prior to his shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Kimmel said on Monday his joke about Melania Trump, in which he said she had a glow like an expectant widow, referred to the difference in ages of the First Lady and her husband. Disney's board chair on Tuesday said large companies from time to time face these kinds of issues to resolve. Jonas, I don't recall Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Home Depot or McDonald's doesn't often respond to these kinds of issues. Why is it that Disney must respond to these kinds of issues? Why do these issues keep arising for the Disney company, Jonas?
Well, I mean, Pepsi, I'll say during the 2020 era, companies like Pepsi kind of just turned over and showed their belly and said, we'll donate to whatever organization you tell us to, as long as it's got a title that we can't disagree with without being called racist. They don't really get into this stuff because they don't have a news media organization. The other thing is they agree with the statement over there at the Disney company, it seems like, and they're only apologizing because they have to, and I guess if they must in order to keep their broadcast license.
Well, I mean, who exactly apologized here? Because Kimmel certainly did, and he doubled down.
Exactly.
Right, and we'll get there in just a moment. Places like Daily Beast are calling it that Jimmy Kimmel went nuclear, but listen to what the director, the board of directors, the chairman said about this decision. Are you ready? Disney's board chair on Tuesday said large companies from time to time face these kinds of issues to resolve, but here's where we get to the important thing. Quote, "It is the job of the CEO and their team to figure out the right answer, and they will be guided by the board." Continuing the quote, he says, "We have a terrific new CEO, Josh Tomorrow. He's world class, so I'm sure he'll rise to the occasion and do what the right thing is, as if there is something to be done in the future," which I don't think is sitting silently. But here you have it, folks. James P. Gorman says, a CEO in such a situation, one would presume this is such a situation, that they will get guided by the board. Who runs the board? James Gorman. And he declines in this article to say what the board is going to recommend to Josh Tomorrow to do. No mention of Dana Walden, by the way. That's interesting, eh? Jorge Bonilla has this out of X.com. Kimmel defends the joke. Folks, we'll play as much as we can. It's not much because Disney will hit us with a copyright, but here's Jimmy Kimmel from Monday night responding to the hoopla around his hurtful commentary.
So on Thursday, 3 days before the event, in order to keep that cherished tradition alive, I did my own version of the Correspondents' Dinner on...
We're trying, folks. We got to pause for a minute. Just blah, 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 okay, Disney, don't get us.
My show, I put on a tuxedo. We pretended we had an audience of luminaries. We used old footage.
He pretended he had an audience.
Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Kid Rock, Vanilla Ice, all the members of his cabinet. And we made it seem like they were all...
That's interesting. This is how he's handling things, making fun of the administration. After the weekend, he's not done a show. He's done nothing since a third attempt to take the life of the president.
Together in a room, we had a little roast. Again, this was Thursday, and there was no big reaction to it until this morning when I greeted the day facing yet another Twitter vomit storm. And
the Twitter vomit storm is Melania Trump, the first lady of the United States, calling for him to be removed from ABC because of what he said about her husband. That's
because yes, he is not calling for violence, but he is making people laugh at the idea of the president's death.
Right. He wants Trump to be gone from the earth, but he's not calling for violence. No,
he's trivializing it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretending like he didn't say what he said. Like, we heard what you said and we know what you meant. He's trying to say
everybody.
Fire me from our first lady, Melania Trump, saying I should be fired because of a joke I made, again, 5 nights ago. It was a pretend roast. I said, our first lady, Melania, is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
So he said it again.
Yep.
This is the double down. We'll play more of it, folks, but first I want you to see how this has been reported. The Daily Beast, which is aligned with somebody like Jimmy Kimmel, says defiant Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear on Trump and Melania 2 days after their lives were put in danger. Defiant Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear. Yeah, we said it the George Bush way. It's funny that way. This is how it's being reported by the folks who support Kimmel, right? And it's very interesting, too. CNN is covering it this way. Brian Stelter, who was attacked by Kimmel in the same show for daring to say that Kimmel had went astray. Brian Stelter reporting, Kimmel pushes back on Trump, calls for his firing in first major test for Disney's new CEO. So Brian Stelter, as of 3 hours ago, at the time of this report, Brian Stelter is still saying Disney's got a decision to make. We'll play more of the Jimmy Kimmel clip, but first I want to go to the panel.
Just to point it out, this has also been reported extensively on thatparkplace.com and geeksandgamers.com, which is where you guys should be getting your news, not the Daily Beast or CNN.
There you go. But we do have to go to those places to show how they're reacting since they're aligned with Kimmel.
Well, I'm just saying to the people at home, don't go to the Daily Beast.
But
sure.
I'm concerned about the framing here because this responsibility, while ultimately could land at Josh Tomorrow's feet, the person that should be on the hook for this is probably one of the people that made it so he could keep his job, Dana Walden, who's now the creative content chief or whatever made up title they made up for her made up position. She's getting paid more money than the CEO. She should be the one on the hook for deciding whether or not this dude's fired. Honestly.
Well, sure. I mean, she and Bob have put them in the spot. But Jimmy Kimmel doubled down, tripled down. Kata, as we'll get ready to play more from him. This is not at all what you would expect from late night after an attempt on the life of the president. This is angry. It's defiant. And I mean, you can look at his face. And I told people this on the Pro Show when we covered this live. You can see in his face, he actually looks angry. His jaw is tight. He's got that, I mean, we didn't just freeze frame this, knowing, okay, here's the exact frame, we get the thing like they would do to Elon. This is how he appeared the whole night trying to get through this. He's angry.
Yeah, and all it does is it does what we were saying earlier. It's stroking the flame. It's just calling for more violence while he's not doing it. Like, the dude just almost got, offed again. And you're going to make a joke to the wife like, oh, looking like an expected widow when people are actively trying to do that to him. You know what you're doing. You're trying to skirt the lines. And no matter how you try to reframe it, everybody knows what you mean by that. So I don't know. I don't even know why. First of all, I don't even know why people pretend that Jimmy Kimmel is even funny. All right? He's not a funny guy. And then on the second thing, it's like, when you look at it and you just listen to how he's trying to manipulate it right here, he knows exactly what he's done, and he knows that people know that. That's why he's talking around it. He's beating around the bush pretty much. That's all he's doing with this situation.
Let's go back.
The fire.
This is the second time he's been in this situation in recent months with the Charlie Kirk thing. He had to over explain himself again. And his answer on this is not, oh, I wasn't trying to say it's because her husband was going to be assassinated. I was trying to say she's a gold digger. Like, what? What?
Yeah,
is that better?
You're full of shit, bro. It's like, literally, you're a liar. You're a
All right,
liar,
here's more of the liar.
Which obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am.
Very light roast about the president dying. Very, very light roast. It's a very light roast.
It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence in particular, but I understand that the First Lady had a stressful experience over the weekend, and probably every weekend is pretty stressful in that house. And also,
so had a stressful weekend because somebody wanted to maybe kill her. But it's stressful every weekend, because you're married to that guy. We'll just remind everybody, Disney's got a decision to make. James P. Gorman, head of the board, says there's a decision that's going to be made. Board's going to advise Josh D'Amaro, who's CEO of Disney. And at the same time that you got that going on, as there's a decision to be made by the board, being reported that Jimmy Kimmel goes nuclear by those who support him and support what he does. So we'll see. Disney, how are you going to handle the nukes? We'll see. It's going to be very interesting indeed. Kata, can you stay with us for about 10 more minutes? I want to hit this next thing that's breaking about Jimmy Kimmel and Disney. Can you stick with us for just 10 more?
I can do 10 more.
10 more. That's it. I promise. Folks, it's breaking right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the FCC is now preparing a review of Disney's TV licenses. Take a look at this. It's out of Semaphore by Liz Hoffman and Rohan Goswami. It says exclusive. FCC prepares review of the licenses. And here's what we've got. This following on the heels, of course, of Jimmy Kimmel and the disgusting way he's presented the Trump situation. The Federal Communications Commission is moving toward a review of Disney's broadcast licenses. According to people familiar with the matter, a maneuver that would up the pressure on the ABC owner as it faces fierce scrutiny from the administration again over a late-night monologue. The FCC may choose not to trigger that process, known as an early license review, some of the people said, but Chairman Brandon Carr has threatened Disney's licenses before, as recently as this month when he criticized the company's diversity programs. The FCC licenses ABC's TV stations across the country to broadcast their programming over publicly owned airwaves, which is why I have asked or said or suggested that Kimmel should be moved to Disney Plus or Hulu. That is the answer here. You don't have to cancel him, but move him off the airwaves. He's a danger to Disney. Quote, If the evidence does in fact play out and shows that they were engaged in race and gender-based discrimination, that's a very serious issue at the FCC that could fundamentally go to their character qualifications to even hold a license, Carr told Fox in April. Now, the reason that matters, folks, for here and for what we do is because when you're supporting this channel, when you're watching what we're saying and what we're doing, please know that it really does matter. Where is Carr getting that information, the head of the FCC? Why is Disney facing a situation where their license might be under investigation? Because of articles such as this, back from March 28th of 2025 on thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it, go there every chance you can. Marvin Montanaro, one of the guys right here on the panel, wrote, Disney DEI practices under investigation by Trump-appointed FCC Chairman Brendan Carr for potential EEO violations. And if we scroll down in this article, guess what? If we go down here, it says, come on, find it. There we go. It says, changes to Disney's public-facing DEI branding, such as the quiet retirement of the Reimagine Tomorrow and Stories Matters initiatives, have already been the subject of independent reporting. One such expose published by That Park Place was directly cited in the FCC's letters to Disney, signaling the growing influence of alternative media in shaping national regulatory conversations. Folks, you can see down here that in the FCC's investigation into Disney, That Park Place cited as the source for the Compensation Committee Incorporated Diversity Inclusion, which was the highest weighting among non-financial metrics. Essentially, fat cats at Disney like Bob Iger getting paid more based on hiring with quota systems that may have been illegal. That Park Place covered that. Marvin Montanaro is the man behind it. And because of that, the FCC cited it. Now what's happening, folks, it's directly, I believe, coming from TPP. And this is what's happening at Disney. Marv, That Park Place, Geeks and Gamers, the stuff you're doing really does matter. And it's putting now Disney in a strange place where the evidence is out there. If the FCC wants to challenge them after this Kimmel situation regarding what they've been up to, I think the FCC has a totally clear runway. And this is one of those ways that Disney might feel the pressure to say, Jimmy, we're moving you on out. Marv, awesome job. And tell the folks, since you've been the author of this, since the FCC has cited you in this, walk us through what Disney was up to and why it's a danger to them now.
So, I mean, like you put it pretty well there. Disney was engaging in hiring practices that are essentially illegal. They were basing executive, payment plans based off of diversity. Listing diversity as a skill, actually. I believe there were also executives on there that were getting a raise specifically because they had the diversity skill. So that's highly illegal.
And Marv, one of those diversity skills was what you like to do in the bedroom, right?
I believe so, yes.
Not what Marv likes to do in the bedroom.
Yes,
but
what
those executives like to do in the bedroom.
Right.
Presumably not with Marv.
So I just want people to understand it. If you did not qualify because of your ethnicity or your ancestors or anything like that, you could bypass that by saying, well, I like these people in my bedroom.
Possibly. That is possible. But yeah, the FCC has stepped in. They have since removed the diversity skill from their executive compensation packages. We covered that earlier this year. So yeah, they've been under the eye of Sauron for quite some time now. And now, I believe Carr had said something about going after their licenses when Kimmel had said the Charlie Kirk thing. Now it sounds like it's a little bit more official than that. So looks like it. I mean, at the end of the day, Kimmel's when this if and when this happens, they're going to cry fascism. They're going to cry freedom of speech. They're going to cry First Amendment. But here's the thing. You have freedom of speech. That is true. Jimmy Kimmel cannot be arrested and jailed for the things that he said. That is his God-given right, his freedom of speech, his unalienable right. He does not have the unalienable right to host a television show on late-night TV.
Exactly.
That is not his right. His right is to say it and not be arrested.
Yeah. The other aspect here is I kind of think he wants to get banned. He wants to go down as if he's a martyr. Like,
yeah,
it's like it's like the movie where the guy is going to go sacrifice himself, and they're going through the whole thing about, well, why are you sacrificing yourself? But he's already got a terminal illness anyways. The terminal illness here for the Jimmy Kimmel show is that no one watches it anyways.
Well, that's the choice here, Jonas. It's do you go out in a blaze of glory as a freedom fighter, a resistance warrior shot down by this evil administration, or do you quietly retire with no audience?
Right. I mean, Colbert was the biggest in the space, and he was losing tens of millions of dollars. He still is, I guess. Yeah.
Minus Gutfeld.
Yeah, for another month.
Right. So if the biggest in the space is not economically viable, then what in the world is Jimmy Kimmel? Nothing.
Kata, there are those who say that the government should not step into this kind of a situation, and I'm curious what you think about it. My position is Disney is already quote unquote dead to rights. Disney, like, they're done for. Their official corporate policies were, I believe, against the law. So it's just the kindness and the generosity of the federal government not to go after them, and the government has the deference to decide who they want to go after. But Disney is already in this position, and they're just poking the bear when they have somebody like Jimmy Kimmel go out there. Kata, do you feel like am I presenting that correctly, or do you think that maybe we need to be pulling back and saying, government, stay out of this. We're going to be principled. Kimmel says what he wants to, and the government shouldn't put their finger on the scale.
Well, that's the double-edged sword, right? Where it's like, obviously, you don't want too much government overreach in what people say and what people do. But then, however, you also have people that are out there trying to fan the flames of conflict and more division in the country. So, like we were saying earlier, he's skirting the lines of how he's saying things, even though everyone's knowing how he's saying it. I don't think that the government should pressure Disney to, fire him or put his show on ice or put him on Hulu or something like that. But I do feel like the company of Disney should look at that themselves and be like, well, what you're doing is trying to fan division, and it's giving us a bad look for what we have to do. So I feel like it should be a company thing and not the government forcing them to do what it is that they should be doing with this stuff.
You know what this is parallel to? This is parallel to the Florida situation where Disney, everybody knew they were getting away with something with Walt Disney World. Everybody knew this was not right, that they could self-govern themselves, and they had this sweetheart deal that gave them an advantage over everybody else. But nobody called them out for it until they poked the bear, and they wouldn't stop. And they always, for whatever reason, they believe they're above and beyond any kind of reproach.
Well, the only reason he suffered his 5-day paid vacation last year was because the affiliates were all pulling his show. So it's going to take the affiliates and the sponsors to actually make something happen here. I agree with Kata. The government should not be getting involved in this. I think that is government overreach in getting involved in something like that, and it actually does kind of push on constitutional rights. But I do believe that the sponsors should do the right thing here. I believe that the affiliates should do the right thing here. And yeah, he should be fired.
Marv, what are your thoughts on you, in particular, being cited by the government in their investigation into Disney and to the quota system they had in place, which basically just said, we're going to hire this percentage of all these different people groups, and then we're going to give raises to the white guys at top, the white guys and girls at top, the Bob Igers of the world. They're going to get more money because we hired this percentage and this percentage and this percentage. Walk us through, because almost nobody out there knows what it feels like to be cited by the federal government investigation.
It's obviously a huge honor, as far as the work is concerned. But it's not the reason why we tell the truth. It's humbling that they thought enough of our reporting to actually, cite us in something like that. And we just continue to do what we do. We tell the truth. We try to give you guys the best source of news humanly possible when it comes to the entertainment space, and hope you'll, bookmark it and keep coming back for more. It's why we're, syndicated on Newsbreak now. It's why we are moving in the direction we're moving.
There you go. Culture, I'll give you the final word on this. Disney is now facing pressure like they have not had before. Walk us through what are the ramifications. What's the result if the FCC were to pull Disney's broadcast licenses?
Well, I think they're going to have a lot of problems, not just a loss in the market. In fact, the angle that I'm approaching the story is that this is a giant financial problem for Disney, and it has been since last year. I mean, I think Marv's talked about that at length. And honestly, I think the ramifications are, going to be driven by the affiliates. I think you guys are locating the right location, especially after we are now seeing the consolidation of those affiliates into one partner, Nexstar and Tegna, and their $6 billion merger is, being, scrutinized because it is going to give them a giant chunk of the market. But to be fair, the market's already been compromised by the addition of streaming and unregulated cable things, which you guys are suggesting is where somebody like Kimmel belongs. I would just say this. I think that this is going to hurt Disney and their financial viability more so than they probably anticipated. And I'll say one more time, I think the person who should be put on the hook, probably by Josh tomorrow himself, to protect his job, it should be Dana Walden.
Dana's not going anywhere, though. There's no way they get rid of her, because any movement at the top of Disney would signal to investors that there's another tumultuous handover, transition of power at Disney. She can't go anywhere, Culture. There's no way.
Well,
so there, Culture.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to
say maybe,
that,
listen, I'm banter back if you think I'm wrong.
No, I think you push her out front. The decider of this is going to be Dana Walden. That's what, if I were Josh tomorrow right now, knowing the position that Iger put him in, I'd push her out front and have her handle this, because whether she rises to the occasion or shrinks and diminishes is valuable in at least one way to Josh's position as CEO. Again, he's not being paid the same as she is, so there's something fishy there as well. I would be very worried about my job if I were Josh right now.
If you're the CEO and you're not making more than the second in command, yeah.
Wait, she's making more than him?
Yeah.
In some ways, he has better stock options than she does, but in a direct salary situation.
But if he never collects or doesn't vest those stock options, what does it matter?
We'll see. A lot of stuff's going to matter real soon. The FCC looking at Disney, what will they decide to do? Well, if I'm Disney, if I'm Wall Street and I'm the investors, I might find a way to convince the FCC there's no reason to investigate me. And that could be Kimmel. All right, folks, if you have enjoyed having Kata on the show, and I know I have, I can't wait to try to get Kata back on here sometime. You need to go over and subscribe right now to Kata's YouTube channel. Kata, tell the folks out there what you do and what's on the way.
Yeah, I just mainly right now, I'm just streaming these games. There's a lot of games that are out that I'm trying to get through. We got videos that's going to be coming out on, all kind of media. Got one on the boys in the works right now. That should be fun. Got one on PlayStation and Marvel and all kind of stuff. I mainly just do pop culture stuff. So if that's what you're interested in, you can go subscribe and come hang out with us over there. And then I also stream over on New Black Street as well, which is a lot more raunchier and a lot more crazier than a lot of other streams. So if you want to go check that out, you can as well.
Sounds like a fun time. Sounds like a good time.
Did you do Pragmata yet on your game stream?
I'm playing it right now, actually.
I am too on that gameplay. So I'm loving it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I didn't think I would like the gameplay aspect as much as I am so far. And it's a freaking adorable game. I can't.
It really is. It really is. Kata and I were actually both brought to the ice bar at MegaCon by Sevi, and she was like, "Wouldn't it be cool if we went to a place that's really cold and made entirely of ice?" So Kata and I got to suffer through that together.
Well, yeah, I didn't get to get inside.
You didn't get in the ice bar?
No, my girlfriend left her ID back at the Airbnb, so we didn't get to get in.
Oh, that's right. Man. I met you out. That was where I met you. I met you outside.
Yeah, outside. Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right, well, folks, get over there and subscribe today to Kata. And Kata, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and to join in some conversation.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I like this. I like this little structure you got here, the funny clips. I'm going to go call my grandma, see if she's okay. So,
tell her if she needs anything. We've got a spritzel for her.
It's a Super Spring Spritzel. Pedro's big year has Disney dropping. It's a Super Spring Spritzel. Take down Star Wars, Avengers, oh please. They picked the wrong people. Even Bree said, nah, woke is collapsing. Theater snapping. It's a Super Spring Spritzel. Oh, Spring Spritzel. Switch to Ryan Gosling.
That's like a 5 layers deep meme right there now.
Clips? We don't need no stinking clips. Kata, catch you soon, buddy.
Yeah, man. Y'all be easy, be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys later, man.
Stay real.
See you, man.
Peace.
All right, and then number 4, Jonas, you're going to be heading out in just a few minutes. You've got a huge call to make. We can't talk about what that call is, but sorry, Culture, we just can't. But Jonas, I do want to tell you congratulations, and I hope the call goes well. It's we're doing big stuff behind the scenes. Jonas, is there anything you'd like to promote before we send you on your way?
No, I'm y'all go check out that Park Place and the amazing work of Marvin Montanaro every single day, as well as our crack team here in on Geeks and Gamers.
There you go. I'll just put this up on the screen before you go, Jonas. Juliet, we've put this up before, but it's fantastic because it's a great promo. Juliet says, once again, evening pro panel and pro rights. Like, subscribe, share with That Game Place, hosted by WDW Pro and Marvin Montanaro tonight. Marv, do we know yet, 8:30 or 9?
I'm thinking 8:30.
8:30 tonight on That Game Place, folks. Come join Marvin for the game that is lighting up the controversies. It's Pragmata over on That Game Place.
We are going to do 8:30, and we're probably going to go to about 10:45, and then go into Lorne and Apollo.
There you go. All right. Well, Jonas J. Kimmel, it's been a great time spending time with you. We'll see you real soon, buddy. And best to Grandma.
Yeah. I'm never going to live that one down.
Nope. That meme for eternity. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's time to end the oh wait, no. We've got more on the way, and somebody new coming our way to talk about a topic you won't believe.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
All right, it is LW Ghost. Welcome,
I
Lou.
always react to when you say somebody more on the way and wonder how you're pronouncing that. But hi, everybody. It's been interesting listening to this conversation, and I had my 2 cents on just about everything, but here I am anyway.
Here you
is. Back or
is.
forward or in between?
Here you is, Lou, and we've got a story coming up that only you would know about. So
Me and 150 other people.
yeah. All right, let me send this over here. Okay.
Meanwhile, can I say, when I see a story that talks about Josh tomorrow and his team, I get the impression from the way he dresses that he takes them all for pizza and milkshakes after the game.
Oh my! Yeah, well, he could. Won't you be my C-suite? All right, well, folks, it's so sweet to have so many super chats. Let's read them out loud right now and put the superstars on the screen. Wolfle McGruff with the crime dog for 3. I heard Pro's Homer voice, so here's a super cat. Woohoo! We've got England DG for 5. Kimmel, Chameleon. Wait, I gotta change that back up. Kimmel, Chameleon. That doesn't work either. Hang on. Kimmel, Chameleon.
Yeah, it's Kimmel, Chameleon.
Yeah, that's threw me off. Tell a bad joke, get called out on You Betcha England DG. Thank you again. WDW Pro Fan for 5. If Disney's board forces Josh and Dana to fire Jimmy, it's only to protect Josh and Dana from Hollywood Society backlash against Josh and Dana. Could be, for sure. We'll pay attention and give you more. Snarky with the fudge. Dora for 2. The mouse stepped in it. And he's got the poop splat. Uh-oh, imagine that. Mouse droppings everywhere. Archer Merchant for 2. Board spin fluff for if when Josh fires the Kimmel. I bet Kimmel. Let's see what happens the next couple of days. I wonder. I think that nuclear reaction Kimmel had last night hurt him. He was much safer before the show last night. Zombie box reviews for 5. Grandma yells across the room. Jonas, what's the name of that German guy who drives me crazy? It's Alzheimer, Grandma. Is that a good Jonas? That's not a good Jonas. How does Jonas talk? Culture, do you have a good Jonas impression?
No.
Marv, you got a good Jonas impression?
Nope, he's unimpressible.
Yeah, he's unimpressionable.
That's what you are, unimpressible.
Yeah.
WDW Pro Fan again for 5. If Jimmy is forced out, Dana and other top execs and creatives in Burbank will be absolutely increíble furioso at the Disney's board. Well, they can take it up with Gorman and Johnston. I don't think they care. The Wall Street investors don't really care what celebs say anymore. England DG for 5. Melania has been relatively quiet for over a decade, unlike Hillary or Michelle. If she speaks up, you really crossed a line. This rat needs to go. We got Sebrew for 2. Afternoon. All Kada on the show. Heck yeah. And it was a good time. Can't wait to get Kata back. Archer Merchant for 5. Guys, try to understand. His wife probably macroned him in the changing. Oh, no, Archer. Oh, you're going to get us in such trouble. Detail Devil for $4.99. Just saw Hacksaw Ridge. Conscientious objector volunteers as a World War II medic. Courage under fire. Wouldn't leave a man behind. A real hero. Contrast versus Pretty. Hacksaw Ridge is a phenomenal movie. It's difficult to watch, of course, as many war films are. But Hacksaw Ridge is one of those, I think, every high schooler should probably watch it, especially in this generation. It's a tough thing to see, but it needs to be seen. Courageousness is amazing. We've got Tony Piacenti out there for 5. Making the world, that is that Park Place, making the world a better place. Great job. Marv, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Archer Merchant for 2. Palpatine, new FCC job saying, do it. That's not a good Palpatine.
Do it.
Snarky, go ahead. You got it, Marv?
Do it.
Do it. Snarky for 2. Celebrate the editor-in-chief, Marvin Montanero. Indeed.
Thank you, buddy.
Accolades to Marv. Nightwish fan for 5. Disney needs to drop Kimmel ASAP. He is a PR time bomb. CBS understood this with Colbert. Yeah, I think Disney's thought, somebody somewhere thought they could give him one more year. That would placate him and would make it seem like he was not going away at the same time as Colbert, which would be negative lines for them, headlines for them. It's just not going to work out. Once he was made uncancelable and given that 1 year extension, there's no limit that he won't go right past. There's no line he won't cross all the way until he crosses the finish line next May, not this May. I don't think he'll make it there. TB7771 for 2. Next, get the Harpies on the spew off the air. Whoopee! Wouldn't that be interesting to see? Archer Merchant for 5. I can confirm I asked Disney HR years ago, who told you all this is legal? They had no answer. HR was more upset Elon Musk was posting their documents on X. Boy, the stories we could tell if only we were allowed to, folks, but we know some stuff there as well. Amish Warlord for $4.99. I have no experience, and even I could do a better job than Josh and Dana. They are clueless. Don't you bring Alicia into this. Don't you do that, Amish. Kaylee for 5. Pro, look again. Dana's stock options are better than Josh's. I pointed it out when it was announced. Was an oddity to me, and I have been calling it out. Yeah, we might do an article sometime on that. It would be cool to do a deep dive looking at who gets paid more. I do think, if I recall correctly, there are paths forward that Josh tomorrow gets paid more, but it depends on the performance of the company. So we'll have to look at that. Snarky Distinct Nuggets back for 10. I agree with Cranky Casino. Culture, you have been a little ray of sunshine.
I have been a joy today.
Daffodils up there in the top left. He's not a single negative thing. Even when Jonas tried to talk to his grandmama, Culture did not mock him. He didn't make fun of him. He's been so happy.
He's on a purple potato high.
When we talked about him trying to saw off his hand using a glass table, Culture just took it in stride, man.
He did.
I planted more purple potatoes over the weekend, so
that's why. So that's the cheerfulness.
By the way, guys, the That Gameplay stream for Pragmata tonight is currently set up for 8:30. So make sure you hit the notify so that you don't miss it.
Oh, Wunderbar.
Yeah, notified.
Wunderbar. I don't think you're cranky, Culture.
I think you just need an excuse to play that club. So.
Never gets old. It's our defense against Chuck Norris. Some people think he's gone to heaven. I know that he is just in the world between worlds. He's bouncing back and forth. He's ready to go. Snarky for 10. I agree with Cranky Casino. Put Dana Wald in the hot seat. She is part and parcel responsible for the political capture of Disney content and culture. Yeah. Dana promoted it. She should fix it. Yeah. Every time Snarky sends in a super chat now, I know I'm in for an alliteration adventure.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. She's identity politics personified. So
we've got Butter Biscuit out there for 2. Kata, good to see you on this channel, and Kata's continuing to watch. Butter Biscuit, thank you for sending it in. Sorry, apologies, we couldn't get in time, but Kata's continuing to watch. Mags is out there for 5. Did you hear about Polish YouTuber who raised over $70 million for kids' cancer charity? He was live streaming for 9 days straight and broke Mr. Beast's record. Wowza!
I was so afraid that was going to be a joke.
But it's not. No joke here. And how wonderful. Way to go. Way to go. I had not heard about that. We'll have to look into it, and that might be worth also some coverage. WJB Daily for 2, Disney 5-day down from 106 to 101.66. Indeedly doodly it is, and we'll keep paying attention to it. Disney seems not to be able to get away from that 100 mark very easily. And then, K-Down for 2, Chuck Norris didn't die. He just went home. Well, actually, Chuck Norris was challenged to an arm wrestling contest with Gabriel, the Archangel, and there is currently an angel missing in action. We're trying to find him at this time. Chuck.
That was a joke from Men in Black. The Elvis is not dead. He just went home.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to get to the next news item, and it's one that Lou might know a little bit about. Lou, I'm going to leave it up to you how deeply you want to dive into this one.
Right. We have to walk on tenterhooks or whatever you call it, eggshells, etc.
We shall walk on the eggshells well, because she sells seashells. No, that's not, I mixed them. I'm so sorry. Lisa Kudrow, one of the stars from Friends, is claiming that it was a brutal experience being on the show in which she made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. She says there was a lot of mean stuff going on behind the scenes. She started, of course, as Phoebe, and she did the Smelly Cat song. Here's what we've got out of theindependent.com. This is by Lauren Morris. It says, Friends star Lisa Kudrow has shared the darker side of her time on the hit sitcom, revealing that the female cast faced intense scrutiny from its mostly male writers' room. Interesting. It's maybe worse framing by the activist media rather than what Kudrow was trying to say. She, 62, is best known for starring as a free spirit Phoebe Buffay in all 10 seasons of the comedy, which has become one of the highest-grossing TV shows of all time since it first aired in 1994.
You may also know her as no one's favorite friend on that show.
Oh, Marv.
I have never met a single person, because, back in the night, it was always like, oh, who's your favorite friend? Are you a Chandler guy? Are you a Ross guy? Like, who do you like? Nobody ever said Phoebe.
Oh, Marv. Surely there's somebody who's a Phoebe fan.
Maybe Lisa Kudrow's mom. I don't know, but like if you, I think she was a Rachel. She got the haircut.
Over 20 years on from Friends finale, Kudrow admitted in a new interview that there was mean stuff going on behind the scenes in the writers' room, which was mostly men, made up of 12 to 15 staff members. Here's what she says, quote, "Don't forget we were recording in front of a live audience of 400, and if you messed up one of these writers' lines or didn't get the perfect response, they could be like, can't the bee blanking read? She's not even trying. She blanked up my line," she told the Times on Thursday. Quote, "And we know that back in the room, the guys would be up late discussing their fantasies about Jennifer and Courtney. It was intense." All right, well, let's go to somebody who might know a little bit about this. Lou, you have been in the industry, and I'll leave it to you how much you want to say. What do you make of the idea that the writer's room was vitriolic and just too darn mean to these millionaires?
Just like all the other writers' rooms, you mean? Just like all the other rooms where you have 15 people trying to stand out against each other, let alone against the cast? Where you have 15 people writing lines that they don't get to deliver so that the audience laughs? I mean, how many times, just in general about movies and TV, do people say something like, well, as Humphrey Bogart once said, he didn't say it. The guy that wrote the script said it. Right. I mean, he said it. But so there's a certain ego issue there to begin with. That show, I was around that show a little bit, and I got to tell you, oh boy, the emotions and the egos and the attitudes and 1 week when I was there doing the whole show, at the end, which was very late, unlike shows that I was in charge of, I mean, it was like 2 a.m. The audience stayed the whole way. Usually the audiences peter out and you wind up shooting anyway. I start packing my stuff. And one of the camera people says to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "Going home to my wife." And they said, No. This is when the party starts. This is when the booze and the Coke and everything else comes out. I said, "Great, thanks, good night." A lot of people were very, very, very well paid and very, very big shots on that show, beyond almost every other show on the air at the time. And when they weren't there, they were just them in their own lonely little room somewhere. So, yeah, there were egos. Yeah, there was attitudes.
So, Lou, to walk through, though, to
Go
walk
ahead.
through why the writers' room may have been harsh. And I'm not, listen, I don't know. Maybe they were just awful to the ladies and not to the men. I don't know. Who knows? But as you're describing it, it sounds like these episodes would be shot until like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. And the writers have to be working on the next episode. So their hours have to be even crazier.
Well, yeah, they're all there when it's being shot, of course. Now, the way these shows work, though, you do basically 3 and then take a week off to catch up on the writing, and 3 and take a week or 2 off to catch up on the writing. So it isn't quite as pressured as it may sound. But the other problem, of course, is once these shows get big, some of these folks decide, oh, all those rehearsal days during the week, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it.
Right, because I cannot
On Cheers, Woody Harrelson was famous for never showing up for rehearsals.
Because they can't be fired, so they can be Alan Iverson, essentially, right? Because
but, you know, they had something more important to do, you know, like repolish their Maserati or whatever.
Oh,
But
sure.
It's it just, in other words, the bigger the show, the more money involved, in my experience. Frankly, the less what you or I or anybody in any business would call professionalism. That's a shame, but that's the way it is. When I first got involved with the show, a dear friend of mine was very high up in the pecking order on the production side, and he and I had worked on a different show where he was at a lesser position. And I said, so how does this compare? And he said, I have 3 times as much power, I'm making 5 times as much money, and I'm not having any fun.
Right. Well, that's not.
So, you know, that's Hollywood.
Let me follow up one more time with you, Lou. This quote is what is so funny to me. It says, don't forget we were recording in front of a live audience of 400. If you messed up one of these writers' lines or didn't get the perfect response, they'd be like, can't the B blanking read? She's not even trying. She blanked up my line. Lou, if she was a waitress, because people experience this all the time. I'm not trying to excuse it. People need to be kind, flat out. Humans need to be nice to each other. There's no doubt about it. If you work in a place that's nice to each other, you're going to love it a lot more than any other environment you're going to be in. That said, Lou, there are a lot of waitresses, there are a lot of secretaries, there are a lot of people working under this kind of duress, being treated this kind of way for far less. It's difficult for people to empathize and sympathize when she was making millions of dollars, and this is the complaint.
When I read that statement, I don't think it's flubbing a line as far as changing words or not remembering. I think the line didn't get the laugh the person who wrote it thought it would get and is blaming the performer.
Sure. Offloading,
There's
yeah.
a lot of that going on. It was funny when I wrote it. What did you do to it? Right? So,
Lou, how much time do you think was consumed if for the people who worked on Friends? Like, not only were they working till 2 in the morning, but how many episodes were they cranking out? How much of the year was taken up by this?
About what, 22 to 24 a year, maybe 26 a couple of years. And each of those take 4 days basically to do, officially a week, but 4 days. And you do them, like I say, 2 or 3 at a time, take a week off, 2 or 3 at a time. So out of 23, you're working 35 weeks out of the year, roughly.
And then the remainder, they're
counting
probably
things like, well, they'll call you in for photo shoots or costume tests,
Promo shots,
promo shots, stuff like that during those off hours.
And then they also, Lou, they would use the other weeks of the year to film movies, probably, right?
You mean these people?
The actors, yeah.
If they could get one, yeah, sure. If they could get one. But, you know, I mean, everybody knew when the hiatus was and wasn't. And once you've got a hit, man, it's your life. It's your life.
Marv, what do you think about this, that now we look back at, you know, and not, I'm using we generously because you and I don't say this, but the people who are part of these shows like The Office or Friends, many of the shows that were so incredibly successful, Seinfeld, people look back now and they criticize them and say, well, it was too white or it was too offensive. Or it was, you know, all these things. And we're now to the point of saying, well, the writer's room was mostly men. And it's like, guys, you were part of something special. Why do you want to denigrate? Why do you want to slam something that made you known across the country? Like, what is the point now in going back and saying, yeah, but it was awful because of blah, blah, blah. Just
but not only that, he's basically alleging sexism amongst those writers, right?
Sure.
How do we know some of them weren't gay and weren't going after the guys?
Oh, my. Marv, what do you think, though, about this trend?
You know,
the point is that we just said the name Lisa Kudrow out loud on the internet, and nobody has said the name Lisa Kudrow out loud in front of a camera in several years. That's why she did it. And it's why she's doing it, not Courtney Cox or Jennifer Aniston, who have careers to speak of. You know, like it gets you talking about it. So if you can, people love to hear about like the dark side of this thing that you loved. It's all performative nonsense. It's a do I believe
Fudge Sundays? That's all.
Do I believe that do I believe that at some point a writer said something, kind of crappy to her about a line delivery? Absolutely, it probably happened. But now all of a sudden it's got to be a big scandal. It's got to and Friends has the thing about Friends is a lot of people look back on it, fondly. I'm not one of them, but they look back on. But a lot of activists on the left hate Friends because there were a lot of jokes about, the trans community. There were a lot of jokes about gayness. Ross's ex-wife was a lesbian, and they made a million jokes about it, and they were all white. So Friends is an easy target for the progressive media. And so,
by the way, I just looked it up. 236 episodes.
Would you like to? I cede the floor to Lou. Go ahead.
No, all I was going to say was 236 episodes.
It's okay. Maybe when I'm not in the middle of a sentence.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was done anyway.
I apologize.
I'm good.
Look, I mean, this was shot in Burbank, California, on the Warner's lot in Stage 24, which they renamed the Friends stage. And, a lot of the establishment shots or any of the other stuff was just canned footage. So they weren't representing New York as much as they were representing the 19 blocks that is Hollywood in that part of California. And so that tells you just what the makeup of Hollywood was at the time. And snarky, sarcastic people are the ones you're going to find in a comedy writer's room. So I'm not surprised that somebody went after her or said something caustic. Caustic is one of the elements of comedy. And that's why it works.
Also, Culture, I mean, if she's delivering the line wrong or she's not delivering the line correctly and it's not getting a laugh, that is going to ultimately reflect on the writer. So, of course, they're going to be like, that didn't get a laugh because she didn't deliver it the way it was supposed to be delivered.
Well, and this is something, and Lou's already pointed out, it's very important for you to have a rehearsal. You usually have a table read-through. And that's where you decide whether or not the joke works or not. Because and that's where you critique somebody about how they deliver a joke. But they were filming in front of a semi-live audience. Am I correct, Lou?
Oh, no, live. Penny has wanted to stay. Normal shows, you start around 6, 7 o'clock. You go for a couple hours. The audience goes home. You go back and do pickups, and you're done by midnight at the latest. This show, oh, man, the audience was there 2 hours before and 2 hours after and 2 hours during, and there was a band and there was a warm-up guy, and it was an experience.
And then the party atmosphere thereafter too.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize that for a lot of these writers, when these actors are changing around the lines that they've written, they get offended by that, and rightfully so. It's not the actor's job to be the writer; it's the actor's job to read what's on the page.
I have to ask a question. Has anybody asked Marta Kaufman about these types of incidents on the show? Wouldn't you think that they would try to consult with her?
Maybe. It's interesting how some of these things go when they're not verified, and who knows? Maybe there are things that Kudrow knows that she doesn't say that are way more, way worse than this, but she doesn't want to talk about it. It's hard to get in the mind.
The answer, if they complain, is don't rock the boat. You're making zillions of dollars.
Still making zillions of dollars off of this.
Yeah.
How much would you say, Lou, like a show like Friends? How well are the folks who made this doing today because of it still?
I can't even begin to calculate it because remember, once it became big and suddenly there were lunchboxes and posters and everything else with their face on it, the exponential revenue is insane, just insane.
Didn't the streaming rights get negotiated like within like the last decade or something like that, where they're just getting millions upon millions? Plus the syndication deals, I believe they were also getting millions upon millions.
But only for X number of views, and after that it stopped. With streaming, it's now pretty much all the time. But it's still, compared to what they were getting paid up front, my God.
Were they getting paid, Lou, also on the DVD sales? Because remember the Friends DVD box sets were big sellers back in the aughts.
They were willing to pay them anything. That contract.
Well, and that's the yin and yang too, Marv. Because now that you can see it on streaming, why buy the box? So it was a replacement in one way or another, if you think about it, except that you could choose a little better which one you want to see. But I don't know. But the kind of money that these shows generate, I mean, the biggest of them all that I know of was ER, which is not a sitcom, but, single camera drama. But with ER, in syndication, the days of syndication, when we talk about syndication, we're talking about Channel 13 and Channel 11 and Channel 9 and after the news and after Johnny Carson and in the afternoon. That's where these shows made their money. None of them even broke even on production costs in first run as to what the network paid them back. But if you got enough of them to put together a syndication package, you made serious money. But at a certain point, say 7, 8, 9 seasons, if you got that far, there was no point in making any more because it wasn't doing you that much better. Well, ER reached that point, and they were going to pull the plug, the ER producers, not the network. And the network came to them and said, we need you as a tentpole to put new shows in behind. We will pay you X million dollars extra per episode just to keep making them, even though we don't need them for yourself. We need them for the system.
Right.
And after that deal went through, because it was right next door to where I was working, guy walked around with a big bundle of envelopes. And everybody from craft service to key grips to DPs to everybody got an envelope with a very, 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 very nice bonus check. And with a quiet word saying, hey, if we go 10 minutes overtime, you're not going to complain, are you? Hell no. And that's how much money there was, millions and millions and millions of dollars per episode over and above what they were already getting, which was pretty darn good after all that time.
Well, that you didn't even have to be an actor or a writer. If you were an EP on any shows that any shows that has gone over 100 episodes, you're buying a Gulfstream jet. I mean, you have plenty of money. You can hand people extra money if you have to. That includes the crew, which I've heard stories about the crew being rewarded for going above and beyond.
Well, plus crews tended to stick together. If an EP got successful and spun off shows, everybody moved from one to the next. And remember, with these multi-camera sitcoms, a lot of the crew could do 2 shows a week.
Well, and this is the reason why Jerry Bruckheimer is one of the most powerful guys on the planet. So,
well, and in my day, it was Miller Boyette, and it was Hugh Wilson, and it was a lot of these guys and gals that they created little empires, and it didn't take much before you were just insanely rich.
Well, if you're Kudrow, I think she should be saying TGIF these days. Thank goodness it's Friends, because it gave her the win in life. So that doesn't mean that it's above reproach. You can't complain about anything, but I think folks out there who do not have millions and millions of dollars and jets maybe want to say, gratitude goes a long way. You got it pretty good. You got it pretty good, even for a smelly cat. All right, folks, we got one more story to go, but we've got to say goodbye to Marv. He's got to go write up a great article that's coming out about breaking news. Marv, before you go, one more plug for you. What are you up to over with the M4 Empire, sir?
We have a new video that just came out last night on the fact that they're trying to say that the Acolyte has seen a surge in popularity. We go over why it is not, why that is actually a big lie, and it's Disney essentially gaslighting the press and the press gaslighting you. So go check that out over on the M4 Empire. And then tonight, I'm co-hosting the Lorne and Apollo show at 11 with Lorne. Lorne and I are going to be talking about Boba Fett tonight, my favorite Star Wars character. And before that, over on That Game Place at 8:30, we're going to be doing our second stream of Pragmata. So make sure you come check that out. It's been a really delightful, adorable game up to this point.
He is one of the hardest working men in the industry, and Marv is uncovering the shills one day at a time.
Have a good one.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
Let's go!
Jabba, right?
Oh no!
It's a Sarlacc!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Guys, this is one of, if not my most anticipated game of the year. Anything that's got me going pew, 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 Sign me up.
I gotta say, the concept of this is enough for me to go, I might even pre-order this.
Every one of those believes The Acolyte is the #1 show on Disney Plus right now, Culture.
I don't doubt it. And it's not surprising. And look, Shill's got a shill, bro.
That's what.
How
are you going to buy your Happy Meal if you don't shill, right?
Yeah, you got to grift, and don't buy whatever the new McSandwich thing is. That looks awful.
What's the new mix sandwich? I don't know what the new mix sandwich is.
Didn't you see the CEO of?
You talking about the big arch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's old news by now, my man. People have been eating the big arch now for a month or two.
They should have cross promoted it with Dr. Scholl's.
How about a nice pressed panini? That sounds better.
I think they could cross partner with Pepsi and do quite well. Thank you very much. Also, folks, as we get ready to go to Super Chats, and I see the gifted memberships, and folks, we have the greatest community. There is no doubt about it. At a time when YouTube is a difficult place to exist in, and we all know it, channel after channel, friend after friend going down, we're still here somehow. We don't know how much longer we got, but you all are empowering us, and we just have to say thank you. It's amazing. We wake up every day knowing that we're blessed. By the way, Lou is the best in the business, and Lou, I want to say a special thank you because without you, we could not have done that last segment. You have direct, firsthand knowledge of what went down with that show, and without you, I could not have even scheduled the segment. So it was stuck in there just because you are an expert in this area like no other. And so I want to say thank you for joining us today on that one.
Thank you. Like no other around here. Out there in the world, there's people much more expert than me.
Well,
but
yes,
there's one thing they've got you haven't got, me or something. I don't know.
Well, they also, though, would not tell us, I think, the truth about it in the way that you're willing to. So there's something special there, eh? All right, let's dive in.
I'll accept that graciously, I hope. Thank you.
Chris Dickerson for 2. Phoebe fan here. Smelly Cat. Best song ever. Hey, we got a Phoebe fan. We've got Cuban Superman out there, member for 23 months. Chandler's dad. He was played by Jessica Rabbit. Bum, bum, bum. And Mark LeBlanc, I think I saw that he's got a new show coming out. He's going to be a end of his career cop who gets convinced to stay, but he's trying to do antics to get fired anyway. Lots of fun out there, folks, for the friends. Still going at it, still having fun. Detailed Devil for $4.99. I'm a host without conviction. I'm a host who doesn't know how to sell a contradiction. I flip and snow. I flop and crow. Karma comes. Crummy Kimmel Chameleon. Now I get it. I got to the end and realized which song I was. Detailed Devil, you're too clever for us today. Kaylee out for 2. Cost of Seinfeld and Friends. Cast caused DEI in Hollywood. What did cause? Well, academia really had a big part in DEI in Hollywood. That it started the whole thing. But Friends is rather pale.
Let me say something about that. I would have said if I'd been on earlier about that story about the FCC. The FCC can certainly enforce unfair hiring practice rules at the stations, but not at Disney as a corporation as a whole. Because, in other words, they can't do it with the theme parks or anything else. So the limits of that, which is great that Marv exposed it, as far as the FCC is concerned, is what's happening at those O&O stations. And if they can prove it there, well, then they've got big trouble. And that's regardless of what happens with Kimmel.
Yeah,
Totally.
the gears were spinning in my head as I was thinking through that. You're exactly right, because I had not thought of that until now.
Now, the NLRB is another story, and other agencies that might want to look into it.
Well, Disney would have had to have bifurcated this system, right? So they could not. You're exactly. Why had I not thought of this before?
They also will be the EEOC will weigh in. There's a lot of different employment.
Well, see, there's no way they were doing this quota system at the parks. That's right, Lou, and that's the vast majority of their hiring. So it could have only have been in the entertainment divisions, where it's also equally illegal. But if they can show that Disney had 2 different hiring systems and 2 different quotas, then that's
Yeah, but my point is the FCC's jurisdiction as far as pulling licenses only applies to the stations, period.
Right.
It doesn't even apply to ABC, the network.
It's so interesting now that I'm thinking about, were there different policies in place for hiring? There had to have been at the parks versus at the studios, at the networks, etc. We'll look into that. All right, we got Snarky out there in the fudge door for 2. Snarky sarcasm. Woe is me. And then take a look at this. Lou, you're going to disappear for a minute. We'll bring you right back. Araxis is out there. dropping 10 wonderful WDW Pro memberships. Thank you, Araxis. Genre Guys exclusive is coming out later today, and 10 more people are going to see it, all because of you, Mr. Araxis.
In the neon glow we rise, electric pulse it mesmerize.
And then when you know it, Joppy is also out there. Joppy, good to see you. As we've said in the past, I know you're having some issues with sight. No worries on sitting in the super chat. We appreciate the membership. I know it's even difficult to do that. Joppy, you're a legend around here, and we appreciate every time we get to know that you're listening in.
A blindfolded half-court shot that is now the talk of campus and beyond.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Is that on tape?
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
Wow. Wow.
And then, my friends, back at it again. The myth, the man, the mutt, the legend, Fitty D is dropping 50 memberships. Glorious Hughes, bringing the kindness that we need to keep those hamsters running on the wheel. Thank you, Fitty D.
Oh, here we go. It's time to party. It's time to live it up.
Every time a membership is gifted, a content creator gets his wings.
Is that gendered language?
We're not at Magic Kingdom, Dad.
And they use something they call pyroprocessing. The interesting thing is they call it pyroprocessing, but it's a molten salt process. They're dissolving this thing in a molten salt, and they're doing electrochemistry on it. Why don't they call it molten salt? They want no...
You're the one who's out of this world, sweet baby. You're the one who's out of this world.
And as we continue, folks, through the kindness and generosity that keeps the lights flowing and going, Snarky the Stink Nugget, his Fudge Dora drops another 10 gifted memberships.
We need rest. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
All right, coming to you from Packing Protons. And you know what, Packing? You dropped 50. I think we need to play your clip. We don't play Packings enough. We'll play this and then we'll read it to you, folks. Here we go. All right, folks, we'll read this one carefully. Packing Protons for 50. Possible breaking. 31-year-old, the boom boomer from California, who is alleged to have attempted to delete POTUS, is alleged to have deep personal and financial ties to prominent California Democrat politicians, including Governor Gavin Newsom. That's when you know pro's been going a long time. Okay, so we'll look into this. I don't know this to be true yet.
I can't see it anywhere else, but I'd sure love to know where he found it.
Right, so we'll look into it. We cover this kind of stuff when it arises and when it is within the lane of entertainment. We'll see if there is an angle there. The other thing I'll say is you're talking about a teacher of the year, okay? It's a teacher of the year, so be careful. Now, isn't it amazing the kind of people who are playing the main character in their own game and think that defeating Orange Godzilla is the right thing to do? Crazy, man. Deluded. Snarky the Stink Nugget for 5. These celebrities ain't loyal. Do it live. You want me to play? They ain't loyal?
Do it live.
Yeah.
I watched Bill O'Reilly talking about his experience at the correspondence dinner.
Okay.
And he said he hadn't been to one in years, but he brought his son, who's a political science major somewhere, who wanted to see it. And when the shots rang out, the son jumped down, and O'Reilly stayed standing, and his son said, "Dad, get down." He said, "They haven't got me in 50 years. They ain't going to get me now. Do it live." And then his son said, quote, "You know, I didn't know you were taking me to basic training tonight."
O'Reilly, that's funny.
Oh, God, yeah.
50 years, they've not got me. They're not going to do it now. Bruce Newhouse for 199. I love my diner food in the New York City, Jersey area. Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the great things about
because they're about to raise the minimum wage for restaurants to $30 an hour.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to wipe out 90% of those diners in New Jersey. And
they just never stop. It's an assault on everything about that. You know, New York, after 9/11, you know, everybody had goodwill towards New York. Everybody wanted to go to New York and celebrate and support the folks there. And it's so sad to see what's happening to that metro area. I mean, this is one of the most populous areas, you know, in the U.S. It's all we can debate about Los Angeles and New York and all that kind of thing, but this is one of the most important areas in the world. This is the capital of the world, essentially, right?
Well,
and we've just, it's under attack. It's under attack by terrible ideas. They're going to destroy it.
I don't know if you saw the story the other day. Mamdani made a commercial about all these rich people that have apartments that are unused every year. He happened to do it in front of one with a guy who had a company with 700 employees. The next day, the guy said he's taking the company out of New York.
Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
Oops.
Unaffordable. What's it mean? It means I got to go somewhere else. So, you know, we celebrate the growth of Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and other places. We celebrate the growth of Idaho and Montana. We celebrate the growth of North Carolina. But folks, we're sad to see New York under such suffering. I mean, it's going to get worse. Archer Merchant for 2, Peacemaker Season 3 being rushed in now. I'll be shocked if Peacemaker Season 3 even makes it to airwaves. Culture, do you know anything about this?
No, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Gunn's probably trying to protect his job with the things that he can keep in production for as long as he can. But I have a feeling that with new ownership, that there's going to be new management over at DC.
Yeah, listen, that's actually the final story we're about to cover is James Gunn just might be done at DC, and we've got the reasons for that. Archer Merchant for 5, it can happen at the park with management, executives, and non-union departments. NLRB and FA would probably be better. Are we trying to say in Florida? FA? Was that an attempt at Florida, maybe?
The FCC had nothing to do with it, with my point, Archer.
Gotcha, yeah. NLRB Los Angeles has huge backlog. And then finally, we've got Detailed Devil for 199, near done. Kamala chameleon parody, but AI was a bear. They'll do that to you. When you're bullish on the ideas, the bears of AI and trying to stop you and make you have a bad day. All right, let's talk about James Gunn. It's the last story we've got up on the docket. And folks, we can't wait to do it with you. What a great show we've had today. Topping 1,400, 1,500 people joining us across the TikToks, the Instagrammies, the X's, everywhere we are. Who knows? Maybe you're even on MySpace with us right now. One thing's for sure, James Gunn might not be with us in terms of the head of DC for much longer. Let's talk about it. Let's go there right now. James Gunn just might be done at DC. The lead up to this, of course, because nothing happens in a vacuum, is that back on March 11th, from that Park Place, James Gunn skipped the first Warner Brothers meeting with David Ellison despite the DC focus. The Ellisons, who bought Warner Brothers, the very first meeting when they're supposed to be focusing on DC, James Gunn just could not be there. Oh, that was not a good sign, was it? Well, guess what? We've got an update coming out on April 28th. James Gunn confirms that the Authority movie has been put on hold. This by Marvin Montanaro, Geeks and Gamers again. Things continue to go in a strange direction for DC if James Gunn is going to stay. Here's the article. DC Studios co-head James Gunn has confirmed that the Authority is no longer moving forward, at least for now, marking a significant shift in the studio's long-term plans for the DC universe. The project, originally announced in January of 2023 as part of Gunn and Peter Safran's Gods and Monsters slate, has officially been placed on the back burner after struggling to come together creatively. Gunn addressed the film's status directly when responding to fan questions, revealing that the project simply wasn't ready to move forward. Quote, the script wasn't quite there, but more importantly, it didn't work in terms of the larger DCU, both in terms of the story and practical concerns.
So,
maybe someday, not soon.
What you're trying to say is that Ellison does not respect Gunn's authority.
No, respect my authority. No, he does not. Here's the interesting thing. We are at the point now where past Man of Tomorrow, I don't know of anything that's being worked upon. Like, actually, we know it's going to happen. So we've seen the Clayface thing, but we are now at a point where we don't see past the veil. And James Gunn has maybe 2 years of stuff coming out, and then there's serious doubt about what might be beyond. Ghost, is this the kind of stuff we would expect to see if the Ellisons and Warner Brothers want to wind this thing down?
Said everybody getting a 1-year contract as a hail and farewell, and this just is more proof, isn't it?
It does seem to be moving that way. The other thing is people have been talking about Peacemaker and will it come back? Will they do anything? I think that was the first big sign that James Gunn had lost his mind when you had a hard R-rated series on TV for a franchise that's supposed to be selling backpacks and lunchboxes and that sort of thing. I'm not sure that he understands the mission. I'm not sure he understands what the vision is as Paramount takes over Warner Brothers. What say you, Lou, in regards to James Gunn and missing out on the idea of this is what you're supposed to do?
I think he's got very few places elsewhere to go.
I think you're exactly right.
Bridges.
What's that?
He has burned a lot of bridges.
Do you believe, Lou, that Zaslav was protecting James Gunn, and why exactly?
Uh,
let me put it this way, Lou. You have a very strong opinion about Zaslav and how this has gone down with Warner Brothers and what the future of Zaslav is in Hollywood.
Right. None.
Right. So once Zaslav's gone, there's nobody left to say, "Oh, this James Gunn guy was a good pick." Because
it will, because whatever Zaslav winds up with as his parting gifts, the soft soap and the Tupperware and the millions of dollars. Nothing he says or does about what went before will matter anymore. It will all be judged based on that. So he can't do himself any better by helping the guy or hurting the guy. He just needs to walk away.
Right. The other thing, too, is culture. James Gunn has been getting in fights recently with the Hollywood trades. And it's very strange because as soon as he fights with the deadlines, then it comes out that the deadline or the headlines were right from the trades. We've got this story out of Deadline here. Got my tongue twisted a little bit as I was trying to say that, but Deadline reporting that yes, some of these folks who were testing for Man of Tomorrow that James Gunn came out and decried and denied, they're now on board. Culture, he's acting poorly as of late. Do you think the slate is running out for James Gunn? Because there's nothing beyond Man of Tomorrow that we know of that he's going to do.
Pressure reveals character, and for him, we'd already had a kind of an insight into his character before. He had his comeback at Marvel, and then now a new job instead of being the cosmic boss at Marvel, which was what was normally intended, which may have given us some better offerings than we got previously under Feige. But I really do think that behaving badly is just part of his makeup. It's the same problem that Josh Whedon suffered from, if you remember back to the allegations, conversations at that time. So, honestly, whether or not Zaslav's exit is going to be tied to anything that happens to Gunn, I would just say no. I agree with Lou. Zaslav kind of had already been ready to pull the plug. I think when we saw the CEO of Liberty Media announce that he was going to be, bailing on the job.
How much does it matter, culture, how Supergirl performs at the box office?
It doesn't matter at all. This thing is, first of all,
if this comes out and makes $400 million, you don't think that pushes him out the door faster?
No, because this is all going to wrap up by July 23rd. When does this come out again? I know it's July.
I thought it was June, but maybe it's July.
Maybe it's July.
It's worse for it if it comes out in July because it will be on the back end of the summer.
Yeah, Supergirl. I'm looking it up, so I want to be right. 2020.
But if Superman itself made $600 million, and that was considered a failure, Supergirl's coming out.
It's the end of June 26th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it comes out and it bombs for the 4th of July weekend,
yeah,
why do the Ellisons want to keep James Gunn? He's pushed DC into a raucous place that is not made for kids. He's not growing it with new characters. It seems like he's lost the Guardians of the Galaxy touch, and maybe we need to start saying that some of that Guardians success was actually Chris Pratt.
Well, first of all, it points out or demonstrates he's a one-trick pony. Everything, even the stuff that he's not creative lead of, like this Craig Gillespie Supergirl film, that's not him. It's just his leadership.
It's his vision. It's his direction.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his flavor.
And his leadership, I'm going to say, because he's not
Right.
directing it. But Gillespie's following the gun playbook. And this is the problem when you get into that one-trick pony territory. Yes, you have a number one hit, but you can only go and perform it in concert for like a year. After that, everybody's waiting for your next hit. Well, he hasn't had a next hit. Guardians of the Galaxy, 4 we got in the latest Superman movie, and Peacemaker's just been an extension, albeit raunchier. In fact, I would say the entry of DC into under Gunn's leadership was not just rocky but disastrous, because you ended up with Creature Commandos. You ended up with a terrible Peacemaker. The reason they're going to rush this season 3 into place is because it's likely his last one. It's why he hit the pause button on so many other things. Why spend time and resources, and when you won't have the authority to control it going forward?
Well, let's say this as we get ready to wrap the conversation. There was a time when everybody said his Superman, if it didn't break $1 billion, was a disappointment. Now, I didn't agree with that. I said it needed to make $700 million. It didn't do that either, though. But there were people who said it needed to make $1 billion. This is Superman. This is one of the biggest IPs in the world. Yada, yada, yada. We're now living in a world where Superman plus the next DC film, Supergirl, combined together probably aren't going to make $1 billion. And that's the point where I believe the Ellisons say, what are we doing here? Why do we want to keep this guy? He's lost the touch. Maybe he is a one-trick pony, like Culture said. Lou, your thoughts on 2 films in DC failing to break $1 billion? And I think they make a decision before Man of Tomorrow comes out. Man of Tomorrow could be the swan song. This could turn out to be a James Gunn trilogy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, the nebulosity of exactly when things take over, like everybody bitching about, well, why didn't Barry Weiss come in and fire everybody the first day? The transitions take time, but there's certainly a definite milestone that says it's not Warner Brothers anymore, it's Ellison. And he's got to make sure everything that comes out after is him and is something good. And so you clear out the dead wood and you go on from there.
Yet again, a DC reset, probably on the way.
I grew up through wars, poverty, and my life's falling apart. But Wilton's life, well, he's never really lived. He needs legs.
Hi, Wilton the Troll doesn't have any legs, and I feel so bad for him. I'm really excited to help. I'm emptying my piggy bank and giving all my birthday money so he can get better.
Wilton is precious. He said I remind him of his mom.
I really like Wilton the Troll, so I'm gonna empty my piggy bank and my education account to help him. Wilton needs legs more than I need college right now.
I'm honestly just sad for Wilton. He was born with no legs. And me, I got this wheelchair.
I've dealt with my own challenges, so when I heard about him, I knew I had to step up.
Wilton told me he could help me with my computer because I remind him of his mom. But then I did something wrong and it completely broke my computer, so I'm emptying my savings account to help him instead.
Wilton, you're my favorite troll now.
I'm donating because Wilton deserves to feel like he's not alone.
He needs our help.
He's gonna be so happy.
He also told me I was pretty. And I like that too.
Go fund yourself, Bob.
All right, folks, we'll be doing the Wilton Legacy Charity Event next Friday at 9 p.m. Be here, and we're going to have a lot of fun, but we're also going to raise real money for real causes. We'll show you about it. We'll tell you about it. And in the midst of all of it, Wilton will finally get his tiny, itsy-bitsy, seemingly meaningless legs to pretend he can walk amongst us. All right, friends, it's time to hit those final super chats before we say goodbye, farewell, see you, sayonara, and send you over to the dish with Follow the Bradley's Fun. Packy Protons for 5. Found that possible breaking on Facebook, so take it with a grain of salt. Hence, possible. Maybe. We'll look into it. And the Fudge Dora is out there for 2. Stupor Girl gun is but a fart in the wind. All we are is farts in the wind. Flatulence. All right, folks, you've given us the win every single time. We get the dream to stream and make it come true because of you. We can't say thank you enough, but England EG for another 2 stayed at the Wilton Hotel. Frog legs were amazing. All right, well, Culture Casino then. Yeah, Culture, yeah. What do you got going on your channel, Culture Casino? And will you continue to break glass ceilings and tables?
Yeah. I've always been trying to break those things. Anyway,
Shaq breaks the backboard. Culture breaks the tables.
That's right. That's the point. That's one of my outdoor garden tables. So it was just handy. And again, I didn't have my my sawhorses ready. I'm gonna have to build an outdoor workbench. That'll be a project I can.
Culture, were you wearing proper safety equipment such as eyewear? Do you have your safety glasses on?
I wear gloves when it's appropriate, and I wear safety goggles when it's appropriate. But usually these glasses, which are very strong, stop about anything. So
before you do the episode where you talk about burning parts of the garden so that new growth can occur, will you call me and let me advise on that so that we keep you alive, please?
I think I'll be fine. I'm good at throwing around the.
You are. Culture, we're just giving you a hard time. Everybody out there knows. Folks, if you've seen the man's greenhouse, we're just ribbing here, okay? We're just joshing around. Culture knows his way around everything to do with construction. I can't tell folks out there, I don't do that. But Culture, you have built a few things in your day.
A couple things, yeah.
Yeah. A couple. Maybe a sandwich once upon a time?
Yeah, I'm really good at sandwich. Like I said, I'm thinking about a pressed panini.
Ooh. Make sure it's not an oppressed panini. That is what the SJWs eat. Amish Warlord for $9.99. If I was in charge of DC right now, I'd reset the movies with Justice League, the musical, a comedy featuring the Music Meister, who can force people to do his bidding just by singing. I believe that was a scene from The Marvels, right in the middle of it. Remember when she had to go sing in the planet that only could do song Culture, or did you block that out by now?
What about the Star Trek?
I think it's gone.
Oh, I do. Yes, the Star Trek episode too. Yeah. I
think that's gone out of my mind.
Can you believe Gary beat me to the chair?
No.
It's not fair. He has X-Ray Girl. He sent her to do that. He got the chair, Culture.
I'm not surprised, and good for him.
I wanted the chair.
I'm sorry.
Let's
build you a replica, and I can even have like the neighbor come over and rub their feet on it for you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Ghost, tell the folks out there where they can find you, including a new genre, guys, coming out later today.
Well, I don't know which one is coming out later today.
I'll be honest, I don't either. I can look it up and see, but tell them what you guys are
what the genre
recording next.
Especially all of you who have been gifted members have a whole new bunch of stuff to watch, because every week Lauren and Hangry and I dissect in a nice way a great movie, usually a great movie, a couple of stickers, but once in a while, And the object of the game is this is something worth seeing, unlike a lot of the stuff that's out there now that isn't. And our next 2, because we record them 2 at a time, even though we put them out 1 at a time, are A Fish Called Wanda and Gladiator, which we're going to record is coming Saturday. I just watched because I just thought, I haven't seen it in a long time. One I'm sure will make the list soon. You want to get way ahead of us? You go watch Inside Man again. Wow.
Great movie, huh?
Wow. Spike Lee, Denzel Washington, Clive Owen, and Jodie Foster. And Bollywood soundtrack, which was strange, but it works. So we do that. And then I show up here from time to time. And then on Wednesday nights at 11, Culture and I wax poetical about all things Hollywood on the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you. And you should be there at 11 o'clock after the Pro Show.
Folks, it won't be hard to join the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you tomorrow. We can make no promises, but scheduled for tomorrow evening on the Pro Show, leading into the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you, we'll be welcoming for the first time on the Pro Show, Gary of Nerdrotic. So, folks, you want to be here tomorrow night to see what Gary has to say about what's going down with Holly Weird and all the rest. And folks, I must confess, it's going to be a great, great night tomorrow. You want to join us, 9 p.m. starts the show, and then we'll be going over to Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you at 11 p.m. Friends,
that's what must-see stream TV.
Must-see stream TV, that's right. Folks, another live stream of excellence is in the can, doing what it is that God sent us to do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, damas y caballeros, we gotta go. Stick around for The Dish with Follow the Bradleys fun. And don't stop having fun, folks. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having said fun. The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
The shadow grows. We must act. The enemy has found the roost. Our arrows are ready, but we need a plan. Then we fly to Mordor. Flock for the planet. By the lines of roost. Take that, you brave. What have they done?
Whisper tales of fire and frost. Shadows rise where the borders are lost. Through the woods where the ancient ones sing, I hear the call of the
in the countryside and you see chicken, try to look a chicken in the eye with great intensity, and the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing.